Have you ever felt that the events in your life, the highs and lows, the encounters and moments of stillness, were more than mere coincidences? Have you felt a persistent, unshakable calling that whispers to you from the depths of your being, urging you to spread warmth, light, and comfort wherever you go? If you find yourself nodding along or sensing a tingle of recognition, then what I'm about to share might resonate profoundly with your spirit. There's a chance you are an angel in human form. Yes, you hear that correctly. There are signs, subtle, powerful, undeniable, that suggest some among us are angels living within human bodies, destined to illuminate the world with their extraordinary presence. One of the most telling signs of an angelic soul walking the earth is the effect they have on the people around them. Have you ever noticed that when you step into a room, a shift takes place? An almost imperceptible lifting of spirits or an unspoken peace that settles over those present? Angels in human form carry an energy that is gentle yet powerful. Their very essence exudes calm and reassurance, creating a sanctuary where others can find solace from the chaos of life. This unspoken influence can be transformative. Even in the most turbulent of circumstances, their presence can anchor and soothe those nearby. This ability to radiate peace is not just a gift. It is a profound hallmark of those chosen to bring light and comfort to the world. When you find yourself in the presence of such an individual, it feels as though an unseen force wraps you in an invisible blanket of warmth and security. The atmosphere subtly changes, almost as if the very air itself is imbued with a calm, reassuring energy. Conversations naturally soften, the rush of the day's worries quiets, and an unspoken sense of peace settles over everyone nearby. It's not necessarily what they say or do that captures attention. It's the essence they carry, an aura of unconditional acceptance and deep understanding. These individuals exude a presence that feels safe and familiar, drawing people in with a sense of trust that transcends words. In their company, others instinctively feel seen and valued, as if their emotions are not just acknowledged, but gently held. This soothing energy acts like a balm to weary hearts and minds, lifting the heaviness that so many unknowingly carry. It's a transformative experience that resonates deeply, touching the soul and providing a moment of respite from life's challenges. The beauty of this presence is that it operates without fanfare. The person spreading this peace may be silent, simply listening, or just being present, yet their mere existence emanates a comfort that lingers long after they've gone. This is more than a simple act of kindness. It is a reflection of a deeper calling, a testament to the powerful, unspoken influence of those who walk this earth with an inner light meant to illuminate the paths of others. What sets earth angels apart is their profound empathy. Their hearts seem to beat not only for themselves but in harmony with the world around them. They are drawn to people's pain, instinctively understanding struggles that might remain hidden to others. This is not empathy as a fleeting emotion. It is a deep, unrelenting force that drives their actions and shapes their existence. Have you found yourself listening to someone's troubles with genuine concern, offering not just empty words but a heartfelt presence? Angels in human form engage in these moments with an authenticity that transforms the experience for the speaker. Their attention is profound. They listen not to reply, not to insert their own story or provide quick solutions, but to truly understand and empathize. This act of listening creates a safe space where emotions, whether tender or tumultuous, are honored and held without judgment. The ability to be present without any expectation of reciprocity is rare and precious. In a world where conversations often skim the surface, hurried and transactional, these moments of deep listening are gifts of genuine connection. To be seen and heard in this way is healing. It reminds the speaker that they are valued, that their experiences and feelings matter. This presence does not require dramatic gestures. Sometimes, it is the soft nod of understanding, the shared silence that speaks volumes, or the gentle acknowledgement that says, "I'm here with you." These listeners hold space for others, absorbing both joy and sorrow, creating an environment where healing begins. Their empathy is like a bridge, spanning the gap between isolation and belonging. They offer their time and emotional bandwidth not out of obligation, but from a deep-seated belief in the importance of connection. It is through this gift of mindful listening that angels in human form remind us of the power and beauty inherent in truly being there for one another. However, this boundless empathy comes with its own set of challenges. Earth angels often find themselves drawn to individuals who bear deep emotional scars or are struggling with toxic behaviors. Their innate need to heal can sometimes lead them into difficult relationships where they give more than they receive. It is as if they are subconsciously attracted to situations where their light is most needed, believing that their love and patience can mend what is broken. While this mission of compassion is noble and life-affirming, it can also become overwhelmingly draining for those who embody it. Angels in human form, with their boundless empathy and relentless drive to support others, must come to recognize when their giving nature is being taken advantage of or pushed to the limits of their emotional and physical well-being. It is essential for them to understand that while their role in spreading light and healing is an integral part of who they are, it must not come at the cost of their own health and peace. Setting healthy boundaries is not a sign of selfishness, but an act of self-preservation. It ensures that they can sustain their mission in the long term without depleting themselves to a point where their inner light dims. Boundaries allow them to balance their calling with their own needs, replenishing their energy so they can continue to offer the depth of compassion that makes their presence so impactful. These limits are acts of wisdom, teaching others that while kindness is abundant, it should also be mutual and respectful. Angels in human form must learn to listen to their own inner voice, the subtle whispers that tell them when they need to step back and nurture their own spirit. This self-awareness empowers them to engage in their mission without being consumed by it, preserving their ability to bring comfort and support to others. By prioritizing self-care and fostering balanced relationships, they can remain vibrant, strong, and capable of fulfilling their higher purpose while maintaining their own joy and well-being. If you think back to your childhood and recall a sense of wonder that set you apart from your peers, it may be another sign of your angelic nature. While other children might have been caught up in games and toys, did you find yourself captivated by the mysteries of the universe? Did you look up at the night sky and feel a pull, as though the stars held secrets meant for you alone? This early spiritual inclination often marks those who walk the earth with an angelic mission. From a young age, angels in human form are curious about the deeper meanings of existence. They are naturally drawn to nature, feeling an unexplainable connection to its rhythms and beauty. This connection is not something they learn or acquire. It is as inherent to them as breathing. The rustle of leaves, the lapping of water against a shore, or the chorus of birds at dawn. All these stir something ancient within them, a recognition of the sacred harmony that binds all living things. Angels on earth often feel a profound sense of purpose. They may not always know what form this purpose will take, but there is an unyielding desire to help others that propels them forward. This isn't motivated by accolades or recognition. It comes from a place so deep within that to ignore it would be to deny their very nature. Whether through small acts of kindness or grand gestures, they strive to make the world a more compassionate place. This commitment to service manifests in many ways. Perhaps you volunteer at local shelters or donate to causes close to your heart. Maybe you're the one who offers a shoulder to cry on, or a safe space where friends and strangers alike feel heard and valued. Earth angels are driven by a fundamental belief that true happiness and fulfillment are found in lifting others up. Their joy is rooted in knowing that they've made a difference, even if only in a small way. The same qualities that make angels in human form remarkable also make them vulnerable. Their empathy and compassion often draw them to people who need healing, but not all of these encounters are healthy. They may find themselves in relationships with individuals who take more than they give, draining the angel's energy over time. This inclination to be with partners or friends who are emotionally troubled stems from the belief that their love can be a balm for even the deepest wounds. From an early age, angels in human form often display a unique curiosity that sets them apart from their peers. While other children might be content with toys and games, These individuals are captivated by questions that reach beyond the tangible, pondering life's deeper meanings and mysteries. Their hearts are naturally drawn to the splendor of nature, where they feel an unexplainable yet powerful connection. This bond with the earth and its rhythms is not something they develop over time. It is as innate as breathing, woven into the very fabric of their being. To them, the natural world is more than a backdrop. It is a source of profound insight and solace. The gentle rustle of leaves on a breeze, the rhythmic lapping of water against a shore, or the harmonious call of birds at dawn speaks to them on a level that words cannot touch. Each sound, each sight, resonates deeply, stirring something ancient within their souls, a recognition of the sacred, intricate harmony that ties all living things together. This connection is a reminder that life is more than the rush of human activity. It is a dance of subtle balances and unseen threads. In these quiet moments, surrounded by nature, angels in human form often feel an unshakable sense of belonging, as if the universe itself is whispering secrets meant only for them. It is in the embrace of trees, the shimmer of a morning dew, and the vast expanse of a starlit sky that they find both questions and answers, reaffirming their place in the greater tapestry of existence. This enduring bond to nature feeds their spirit, inspiring acts of kindness and compassion rooted in a deep understanding that everything is interconnected. Through this awareness, they cultivate an empathy that extends to all beings, driven by an instinctive desire to nurture, protect, and harmonize with the world around them. If you've ever found yourself approached by strangers who seem eager to share their stories or seek your advice, it might be more than just happenstance. Angels in human form emit an energy that others are instinctively drawn to, a sense of safety and understanding that encourages even the most reserved individuals to open up. There's a quiet wisdom in their eyes and a gentle assurance in their words that make others feel seen and heard. People can sense this special quality, even if they can't quite articulate what it is. Like moths to a flame, they are irresistibly drawn to your presence, seeking guidance, reassurance, or simply the comfort of being near someone whose energy exudes understanding and warmth. This natural magnetism stems not from anything you say, but from who you are, your essence, imbued with compassion and acceptance. There is an unspoken trust that forms effortlessly, a silent acknowledgement that in your company, burdens become lighter and hearts feel safer. This trust is one of the most profound indicators of an angelic nature. It serves as a powerful reminder that even in moments when you are unaware of the effect you have, your light is quietly at work. Your presence weaves unseen threads of connection, creating a web of solace and hope that touches more lives than you might ever know. It is a testament to the unseen impact of simply being, proof that the subtle light you carry has the power to soothe souls and uplift spirits in ways that transcend words. The most striking trait of angels in human form is their authentic and tireless commitment to the well-being of others. Their compassion is not performative, it runs deep, motivating them to act without any expectation of acknowledgement or reward. It could be a quiet gesture, a kind word, a moment of patient listening, or a small act of service that leaves an indelible mark on someone's life. These acts may seem inconsequential in the moment, but are often monumental to those who receive them. An earth angel's compassion naturally extends beyond just people. It embraces all living beings. Their heart is tuned to the well-being of the entire ecosystem, prompting them to advocate passionately for environmental causes, nurture animals, or stand up for those who cannot voice their needs. This expansive empathy stems from an innate understanding of the interconnectedness of all life. They see the delicate, invisible threads that bind existence together, recognizing that every being, no matter how small, plays a vital role in the world's balance. This profound awareness sets earth angels apart, driving them to act not just for the good of humanity, but for the preservation and harmony of the natural world. They understand that to show kindness and care to one part of the whole is to support and uplift all of it. Whether by speaking out against environmental harm, rescuing and caring for animals, or promoting sustainable practices. Their actions echo a deep truth. True compassion knows no boundaries, and real change comes when love extends to every corner of creation. Another hallmark of earth angels is their deep, insatiable curiosity about life's mysteries. They are seekers of meaning, constantly driven to uncover the deeper truths that govern the universe. From an early age, they may have pondered profound questions about life, death, and the nature of suffering. This quest is not just an intellectual pursuit. It is a spiritual journey that shapes their worldview and their approach to life. Angels in human form possess a profound need to understand the purpose behind suffering, both their own and that of others. This yearning is not just an attempt to find personal peace, but a deeper desire to provide meaningful guidance and comfort to those around them. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, they delve into spiritual teachings, philosophical frameworks, and metaphysical concepts, seeking truths that go beyond what is seen or easily explained. Surface-level answers do not satisfy them. Instead, they are drawn to the hidden currents of wisdom that life conceals. They ask the hard questions, grapple with existential dilemmas, and ponder the reasons behind adversity, aiming to illuminate the path for themselves and others. This search enriches their empathy, equipping them with insights that resonate deeply when shared. The wisdom they uncover becomes a beacon of hope and understanding, enabling them to support those in pain with a rare depth of compassion and clarity. This pursuit for meaning transforms them into guides and healers, bridging the gap between despair and hope with the knowledge gained from their own soulful exploration. Despite the weight of their empathy and the challenges that come with it, angels in human form possess an extraordinary ability to find joy. They understand that life is not without its hardships, but they choose to focus on the beauty that exists alongside the pain. They cultivate gratitude for the simple moments, the warmth of the sun on their skin, the sound of laughter shared with loved ones, or the peace of a quiet morning. This resilience is not born out of ignorance or naivety, but from a deliberate, conscious choice to nurture and protect their own spirit. Angels in human form understand that true strength comes from cultivating joy, even amidst life's challenges. They recognize that by choosing joy, they replenish their energy, making them better equipped to share that light and uplift others. This practice of finding happiness becomes a vital part of their ability to continue their compassionate work. Their fulfillment isn't derived from material gains or accolades, but from the profound moments that touch the heart and elevate the soul. They cherish simple pleasures, the warmth of a heartfelt conversation, the beauty of a sunset, or the laughter shared with loved ones. Each moment of joy reinforces their commitment to spreading positivity and serves as a reminder of life's inherent beauty. This deep appreciation for life's intangible blessings allows them to maintain their sense of purpose and continue offering hope, comfort, and love to those around them. It is this intentional embrace of joy that makes their resilience not just enduring, but inspiring to all they meet. If this description resonates with you, if you see glimpses of yourself in these words, then it's time to embrace your calling. Recognize the extraordinary light within you and the impact you have on the world. Understand that your compassion, your empathy, and your unwavering desire to bring comfort are not weaknesses but strengths. Your journey as an angel in human form is one of love, service, and profound connection. Continue to nurture this gift, knowing that even when your path feels challenging, you are never alone. Your mission is vital, your presence a blessing. In a world that often overlooks the power of kindness, your existence is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the divine purpose it can carry. Stop scrolling for just a moment. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to consider a powerful possibility. That you're here, right now, feeling the deep ache of separation from someone you thought would always be close. Your mom. Perhaps you've wrestled with the feeling that something precious has been torn from you, that a bond you once relied upon seems distant or unreachable. And yet, what if this distance, this undeniable gap, is not random, What if it is part of a divine design, carefully woven into the fabric of your life, not as a punishment, but as a path to something greater? The pain you carry, the isolation that weighs on your heart, it may not be as meaningless as it feels in your darkest moments. Every tear you've shed, every moment of loneliness, could be a refining fire, sent not to break you down but to shape you for a unique purpose that no one else can fulfill. God may have set you apart, chosen you for something so powerful that it requires a strength and resilience forged only through difficulty. This isn't the path everyone else walks, and maybe it isn't supposed to be. Have you ever considered that every hardship, every painful memory, has been like stepping stones leading you toward a destiny that only God can fully see? When we feel abandoned or misunderstood, it's natural to wonder if there's any purpose in it all. But what if these very struggles are the groundwork for a future that requires a unique type of strength, a strength few can understand, because few have walked this same path? Since childhood, you may have felt a unique distance, a chasm between you and your mother, something so deep, it often seemed unbridgeable. While others around you shared moments of warmth and comfort with their families, perhaps you found yourself standing on the outside, feeling the ache of loneliness and questioning why you felt so alone. It's a feeling that is difficult to explain and even harder to carry, making you wonder if you are somehow unworthy or undeserving of love and acceptance. But what if this distance, this feeling of separation, was never a sign of abandonment or rejection? What if it was, instead, an indication of something profound, a signal that God has chosen you for a special purpose that requires a path unlike any other? This isn't a punishment. It's preparation. God is not keeping you away from love. He's carving out space for a love far beyond human understanding. He's stripping away earthly distractions to prepare you to fully receive His purpose. Through the absence, He speaks with clarity, drawing you closer to Him. From a young age, you may have sensed that your path was different, marked by a unique calling that set you apart from others. While many around you found their strength and identity within the warmth of family bonds, you felt a deeper pull, a divine nudge guiding you to lean solely on God. This sense of separation may have felt isolating at times, but it was never a mark of weakness or inadequacy. Instead, it was God's way of building a strength in you that could only come through solitude and dependence on Him alone. Think of this isolation as a training ground, much like that of a warrior being prepared for a mission that requires focus, resilience, and unbreakable faith. In solitude, a warrior is stripped of comforts, left with only the essentials, so that strength and skill can be honed without distraction. In the same way, God has allowed this space of separation in your life, removing certain attachments so that you can rely fully on Him. He is stripping away any dependencies that might hinder your calling, ensuring that your faith is anchored firmly in Him. Through this experience, God is teaching you resilience, a deep inner strength that does not waver under pressure. Each moment of solitude becomes a lesson, each challenge a stepping stone, building within you the character and endurance necessary for the higher purpose He has in store. This process may feel isolating, but it is a sacred preparation, a refining season where God is shaping you to stand strong, fully reliant on His guidance and grace. You are being prepared for something extraordinary, something that requires you to walk a path less traveled. God is calling you to trust Him deeply, to find your identity, your strength, and your purpose in Him alone. In this space of separation, He is forming you into someone who can withstand trials, rise above challenges, and fulfill a calling that goes beyond the ordinary. This path may be different, but it is designed with divine intention, preparing you to step into a life marked by purpose and guided by His unfailing hand. The love you've longed for, the family connection you may have envied in others. It's not that God ignored your need. He saw it and chose to fill it Himself with a love that is perfect, unchanging, and unfailing. He needed you free from the limitations of earthly attachment because your calling requires a different kind of strength. Others may find comfort in constant affirmation, but you've been sustained by something deeper, the unshakable power of God's love. Picture yourself on a battlefield, a soldier trained in isolation for a war you may not have fully understood. While others leaned on their mothers, you learned to fight alone. In the emptiness left by human absence, you discovered a divine fullness, a love that doesn't fade, a connection that doesn't break. Every tear, every sleepless night spent questioning your worth. These were all part of a grander plan to prepare you for a strength and resilience others cannot match. Your mother's distance, her absence, was not an accident. Each struggle, each wordless conflict, each cold silence, they were tools, divine chisels breaking away the unnecessary to reveal the masterpiece within. You were not just hurt, you were sharpened. Every argument, every cutting remark, every emotional sabotage was a lesson in standing firm. Through these challenges, God was cultivating within you a resilience that runs deep. He was teaching you not to be easily swayed, preparing you to hold steadfastly to your identity and purpose, even when faced with opposition. The adversity wasn't meant to crush you, but to build within you an unwavering strength and a profound sense of self that could only emerge through the fire. In every hurt, there was a refining, a way to transform the pain into power, the wounds into wisdom, and to reveal the strength God always saw in you. The pain you felt wasn't meant to define you, but to refine you. Your struggles with your mother weren't just personal. They were cosmic clashes, battles between who you are called to be and who the world would have you remain. Perhaps you were wounded by criticism that seemed relentless, by manipulations that twisted your heart, by coldness that left you questioning your worth. These were not random hardships. They were intentional wounds meant to prepare you for a purpose far beyond the ordinary. Through these wounds, God has forged an armor around you. Others may falter under the weight of life's pressures, but you have already endured the furnace's heat, and it has only made you stronger. This is why your path has been different, harder. You were never meant to lean on human validation. God needed you to seek your worth in Him alone. Your identity isn't tied to earthly approval, but is rooted in the Creator who shaped you with divine purpose. The strained words, the unspoken coldness, they were chisels that shaped you, removing parts that would hinder your calling. Through the pain, God was strengthening you, making you resilient, unbreakable. You may have felt abandoned, but in reality, God was present, molding you into a vessel for His work. Every tear, every lonely moment served as a sacred tool, refining you into who you were meant to be. Perhaps you've wondered, why? Why did the relationship with your mother seem so fraught with pain, as if it was destined to leave a lasting ache? The answer, though complex in feeling, is both simple and profound. God never intended for your sense of self, your identity, to be shaped by her approval or acceptance. Her role in your life, with all its imperfections and limitations, was never meant to be the foundation of your worth or the lens through which you see yourself. Instead, her limitations were a divine sign, a reminder of the insufficiency of earthly relationships and of the way human bonds can fall short. Each moment of distance, each unmet need, was gently guiding you toward something far greater, toward Him. God used the limitations in your relationship with your mother to reveal a powerful truth. Human connections, as meaningful as they are, cannot be the ultimate source of our identity or worth. While others may have found their confidence or validation within family bonds, God had a different path in mind for you. He allowed this distance not as punishment, but as preparation, gently leading you to discover that your true value comes from Him alone. He wanted you to know that your identity is firmly rooted in His love, a love that is constant, complete, and unfailing. In those moments when you sought validation from her and were met with disappointment, God was drawing you closer, teaching you to find your security and purpose in Him. This separation is not a mark of failure or loss. It is a sacred invitation to be grounded in something more lasting than any human relationship. God has called you to a unique journey, one that begins with Him and finds its fulfillment in His purpose for your life. Perhaps you've wondered, why? Why did the relationship with your mother seem so fraught with pain, as if it was destined to leave a lasting ache? The answer, though complex in feeling, is both simple and profound. God never intended for your sense of self, your identity, to be shaped by her approval or acceptance. Her role in your life, with all its imperfections and limitations, was never meant to be the foundation of your worth or the lens through which you see yourself. Instead, her limitations were a divine sign, a reminder of the insufficiency of earthly relationships and of the way human bonds can fall short. Each moment of distance, each unmet need, was gently guiding you toward something far greater, toward Him. God used the limitations in your relationship with your mother to reveal a powerful truth. Human connections, as meaningful as they are, cannot be the ultimate source of our identity or worth. While others may have found their confidence or validation within family bonds, God had a different path in mind for you. He allowed this distance not as punishment, but as preparation, gently leading you to discover that your true value comes from Him alone. He wanted you to know that your identity is firmly rooted in His love, a love that is constant, complete, and unfailing. In those moments when you sought validation from her and were met with disappointment, God was drawing you closer, teaching you to find your security and purpose in Him. This separation is not a mark of failure or loss. It is a sacred invitation to be grounded in something more lasting than any human relationship. God has called you to a unique journey, one that begins with Him and finds its fulfillment in His purpose for your life. This separation, this divine pruning, is God's way of preparing you for the next level. It may feel like isolation, but it's the sacred ground where transformation happens. God has stripped away earthly ties that once defined you, removing anything that could limit the purpose He has in mind for you. Every moment of separation, every tear, is a tool in God's hands, shaping you into a vessel strong enough to carry His purpose. Think of yourself as metal, heated and hammered to become unbreakable. This process is not punishment, it's refinement, burning away vulnerabilities that could hinder your mission. The relationships that once defined you, that may have even limited you, are being removed. You are being promoted to a higher calling that demands more from you than you could ever have imagined. In the spaces left by human absence, God's presence becomes undeniable and profoundly comforting. Where earthly love may have faltered, God's love fills every empty corner, reaching into the depths of your heart in ways no human connection ever could. The voids left by relationships that may have fallen short were never meant to remain empty. They are intentional spaces designed for God to fill, to demonstrate that His love alone is all-encompassing and sufficient to meet your every need. God has not allowed this separation or distance to harm you, but has instead used it as an invitation to draw you nearer to Him. The limitations of your earthly mother, her inability to meet every emotional or spiritual need, are not reflections of any inadequacy in you. Rather, they are gentle reminders that your deepest needs were always meant to be fulfilled by your Heavenly Father. The love you seek, the security you crave, and the understanding that often feels elusive are all perfectly found in Him. This separation highlights a sacred truth, that God's role in your life is unique and irreplaceable. Where human relationships are bound by limitations and imperfections, God's love remains unwavering, endlessly patient, and without condition. Through this experience, He is showing you that your worth and identity are rooted in Him, not in the validation or understanding of others. In every space where human love could not reach, God's presence grows stronger, filling your life with a love that heals, sustains, and affirms your true value. He is drawing you closer, teaching you to depend on Him completely, and showing you that He alone can fulfill the desires of your heart in ways that are eternal, pure, and boundless. God wanted your dependence to be on Him alone, not diluted by human affections. Through every tear, every moment of silence, He was building in you a spiritual resilience, a strength that is anchored in an unshakable foundation. This separation isn't a punishment or a mark of failure. It's a divine calling to rely on God alone. You are chosen, set apart, refined through every moment of loneliness and heartache. This separation is proof of your calling. It's a divine preparation, a sacred crucible where God has been molding you into the vessel He needs. Your pain isn't in vain. It's a testimony, a witness to the work God is doing within you. Embrace this truth. Walk boldly in the knowledge that your story is part of a grand design. Let your journey, your growth, be a light for others who feel the weight of separation. In every hardship, trust that God's plan is perfect, that He is using every moment to shape you for a purpose beyond what you can see. Step forward with courage, knowing that you are not defined by the wounds of the past, but by the divine calling that marks your life.
One of the deepest desires in the hearts of believers is to know they are walking on the right path, the path ordained by God. Every follower of Christ yearns for the reassurance that their choices, their sacrifices, and their daily walk are aligned with the will of the Creator. Thankfully, God does not leave His children in darkness. Through the Holy Spirit, through the Scriptures, and through our life experiences, we can discern whether or not we are following His divine plan. The Bible teaches that walking the right path doesn't mean we are exempt from difficulties. In fact, it often means the opposite. As Jesus Himself warned in John 16:33, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." Our challenges, however, are not signs of being astray, but rather affirmations that we are walking the narrow road that few find. As we explore the signs that indicate you are on the right path, you will find encouragement and spiritual clarity, and you'll understand that the right path is not about ease, but about purpose, holiness, and God's presence. The first and perhaps most telling sign that you are walking on God's path is rejection by the world. As followers of Christ, we must expect that the world will not welcome or embrace us. Jesus made this abundantly clear when He said, "If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first." There is an inherent tension between the values of the kingdom of God and those of the world. When we stand for holiness, purity, love, and righteousness, we inevitably come into conflict with a world driven by selfish ambition, greed, and moral decay. The world rejects the light because it exposes the darkness within. In John 3:19-20, Jesus explains that light has come into the world, but people loved darkness instead of light because their deeds were evil. When we, as believers, live in a way that reflects Jesus, we become a mirror of His light, and in that reflection, the world sees its own sinfulness. This discomfort often manifests as hostility. If your faith causes discomfort to those around you, if your values seem countercultural, and if your beliefs are labeled as old-fashioned or intolerant, this is a clear sign you are on the right path. The world's rejection is not a cause for sorrow, but for joy. Jesus said in Matthew 5:11-12, "Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven." Thus, when the world turns its back on you, you are reminded that your citizenship is in heaven, not on earth. To walk the right path is to live counter to the culture. Consider the examples of biblical figures like Noah, who in a world of rampant sin was found righteous in God's eyes. He was mocked and ridiculed as he built the ark, but he remained steadfast in obedience to God's voice. Similarly, Daniel refused to conform to the ways of Babylon, choosing instead to maintain his devotion to God, even when it meant facing the lion's den. In each of these cases, rejection by society was a badge of honor because it marked them as faithful to God, not the world. As modern believers, we too are called to be different. This difference might be subtle: the refusal to engage in workplace gossip, a commitment to honesty in business transactions, or choosing to spend time in prayer rather than pursuing worldly entertainment. But it is in these choices, often unnoticed by the world, that we reflect the character of Christ. The second sign that you are walking on the right path is the unmistakable presence of God in the midst of your trials. Life is filled with difficulties, and the Christian journey is no exception. In fact, trials often serve as a testing ground for our faith. The difference for believers is that we do not walk through these trials alone. God's presence is with us, guiding us, strengthening us, and assuring us that we are not forsaken. Isaiah 43:2 provides one of the most comforting promises in Scripture. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned, the flames will not set you ablaze. Notice that Isaiah does not say if, but when you pass through the waters and fires of life. Trials are not optional for the Christian, but neither is God's presence during those trials. He promises to be with us, not just sending angels or help from afar, but being personally present in our struggles. One of the clearest examples of this is found in the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. When these three men refused to bow to King Nebuchadnezzar's idol, they were thrown into a blazing furnace. But in the midst of that fire, they were not alone. Nebuchadnezzar himself exclaimed, "I see 4 men walking in the fire, unbound and unharmed, and the fourth looks like a son of the gods." God did not prevent them from entering the fire, but he walked with them through it, and they emerged without even the smell of smoke on their clothes. Suffering teaches us something that comfort cannot. It is in the valleys of life that we experience God's presence most profoundly. Job, a man described as blameless and upright, went through intense suffering, losing everything: his wealth, his children, his health. Yet in the end, Job declared, "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you." Through his trials, Job came to know God in a deeper, more intimate way than ever before. Similarly, the Apostle Paul understood that suffering was a pathway to knowing Christ more fully. In Philippians 3:10, Paul writes, "I want to know Christ, yes, to know the power of his resurrection and participation in his sufferings, becoming like him in his death." There are aspects of God's character and his love that can only be revealed when we walk through pain and adversity. This is why trials, though painful, can also be seen as a confirmation that we are on the right path. A third sign that you are on the right path is the presence of an inner peace that transcends the chaos of the world around you. This peace is not the absence of conflict or trouble, but a deep, abiding confidence in God's sovereignty and goodness, regardless of circumstances. The Apostle Paul describes this peace in Philippians 4:7, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." One of the most powerful examples of this peace is found in the Gospel of Mark, where Jesus is asleep in a boat during a violent storm. The disciples, terrified by the storm, wake Jesus in a panic, asking, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" Jesus gets up, rebukes the wind and the waves, and then turns to his disciples, asking, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" In this story, Jesus demonstrates the peace that comes from knowing and trusting the Father's plan. He was not disturbed by the storm because he knew who controlled it. As believers, we are invited to experience this same peace. Even when life's storms rage around us, financial troubles, relationship challenges, health issues, we can rest in the knowledge that God is in control. This peace is a sign that we are on the right path because it is a gift that God gives to those who trust Him completely. Moses, in leading the Israelites through the vast and perilous wilderness, encountered immense obstacles, from guiding a rebellious people to navigating treacherous terrain. Yet, despite the weight of these challenges, Moses pressed on with unwavering faith, sustained by one crucial promise: God's abiding presence. In Exodus 33:14, God reassured Moses with these profound words, "My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." This promise encapsulates the heart of divine peace, a peace not found in the absence of difficulty, but in the steadfast assurance that God walks beside us, providing strength and guidance. For Moses, the knowledge of God's presence was the anchor that kept him grounded amidst the chaos and uncertainty of leading a nation. Though the path ahead was fraught with adversity, Moses did not rely on his own strength, but on the certainty that God was intimately involved in every step of the journey. This sense of divine companionship granted him rest, a rest that was deeper than physical relief, but a profound inner peace rooted in trust. When we encounter situations in life that would naturally provoke fear or anxiety, whether in relationships, careers, or personal struggles, and yet we find ourselves inexplicably at peace, this is a powerful sign that God is with us. It is a spiritual calmness that transcends human understanding, as described in Philippians 4:7, where the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Such peace is not an indication that the journey will be easy, but rather a confirmation that, despite the trials, we are walking in step with God's will. It is His presence that transforms turmoil into tranquility, assuring us that we are not alone and that His sovereign hand is guiding us forward. Another sign that you are on the right path is your unwavering commitment to God's standards, even in the face of pressure to compromise. The world is constantly inviting us to lower our standards, to take the easy road, to blend in rather than stand out. But those who walk the right path refuse to compromise their faith, no matter the cost. In Acts 4, Peter and John were commanded by the religious leaders to stop speaking in the name of Jesus. Their response was resolute. Which is right in God's eyes, to listen to you or to Him? You be the judges. As for us, we cannot help speaking about what we have seen and heard. Peter and John knew that obeying God was more important than obeying human authorities, even when that obedience led to persecution. Similarly, Daniel refused to defile himself with the king's food in Babylon, despite the pressure to conform. Joseph fled from Potiphar's wife, choosing to uphold his purity, even when it meant imprisonment. These men were willing to endure suffering because they valued their relationship with God above all else. Jesus made it clear that following Him would not be easy. In Matthew 10:34-36, He said, "Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies will be the members of his own household." This statement might seem harsh, but it underscores the reality that following Christ requires absolute loyalty, even when it costs us relationships, comfort, or worldly success. When your commitment to God's standards starts to create tension in your relationships or causes you to stand out at work or in your community, it can be a clear indication that you are walking the path of righteousness. This tension often arises because the values of the world contrast sharply with the values of God's kingdom. As you strive to live a life rooted in holiness, integrity, and truth, you may find that others, whether friends, family, or colleagues, do not always understand or support your choices. The pressure to conform to worldly standards can feel overwhelming, but it is in these moments of friction that God's presence is most tangible. Jesus himself warned of this reality, telling his disciples in John 15:19, "If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you." Choosing to uphold God's standards in a world that often celebrates compromise will set you apart, sometimes making you feel isolated. Yet, this very separation is a sign that you are aligning yourself more closely with Christ, who was also rejected by the world for his unwavering obedience to the Father. Although the path of righteousness can feel lonely at times, it is never devoid of God's presence. In Matthew 28:20, Jesus assures us, "I am with you always, even to the end of the age." This promise serves as a powerful reminder that while the world may misunderstand or even oppose us, we are never alone. God walks with us, offering strength and comfort as we stay faithful to his ways. The tension and challenges you face for standing firm in your beliefs are not obstacles, but confirmations that you are walking in step with God's will, and his presence will sustain you through every trial. Walking the right path is not always easy, but it is always worth it. The signs we've discussed, rejection by the world, God's presence in trials, inner peace, and an uncompromising faith, are clear indicators that you are walking according to God's will. These signs remind us that the path we walk is not about avoiding difficulty or seeking worldly approval, but about aligning our lives with God's eternal purposes. As you take time to reflect on your own spiritual journey, take comfort and encouragement in the knowledge that God is always with you. He is guiding you through the storms of life, offering you peace when the world around you is in turmoil, and giving you the strength to stand firm in your faith. Life's trials may be challenging, but each one is an opportunity to grow closer to God and experience his presence more deeply. Remember that, as the Bible says in Isaiah 41:10, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." His promise to never leave or forsake you is what carries you through every difficulty. The narrow path that leads to life is often difficult and lonely, but stay the course, trusting that the eternal rewards far outweigh the temporary challenges. When you remain faithful and committed to God's ways, you will experience a peace that surpasses all understanding and a deeper connection to the Creator, who walks beside you every step of the way. His love, strength, and guidance are your anchors in the storms of life. As you continue your journey, remember to surround yourself with others who can encourage and uplift you in your faith. And if you found these insights helpful, I invite you to subscribe to the channel for more content on spiritual growth and deepening your walk with God. Your support means a lot, and by subscribing, you'll be joining a community of believers striving to live in alignment with God's purpose. Thank you for being part of this journey, and may God continue to bless you as you walk the path with faith and courage. Family is often seen as the core foundation of our existence, a place where we find unconditional love, support, and shared memories. It's where our identity is shaped and our values are molded. From the earliest stages of life, we are taught that family is everything. This belief is celebrated in countless cultures, becoming almost sacred. The idealized vision of family is a source of safety, belonging, and unity, a place where we can grow into our best selves. However, as many of us have come to realize, family is not always the perfect sanctuary it is painted to be. Sometimes, the very people who should provide care, understanding, and support end up becoming the root of our deepest wounds. Toxic family members can erode our confidence, manipulate our emotions, and create an environment filled with shame, guilt, and anger. This truth is often difficult to confront because society tells us to hold our family dear, no matter what. Yet, there comes a point when recognizing toxic behaviors and setting boundaries becomes essential to preserving our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. In this video, we will explore 7 types of toxic family members that can have a significant impact on our lives, not only by their presence, but also by the subtle ways in which they control, diminish, or manipulate us. By recognizing these patterns, we can begin the process of healing, regaining control over our lives, and learning how to navigate family dynamics in a healthy way. Number 1. The helicopter family member, overprotective or overbearing. In theory, having a family member who cares deeply about your well-being should be a blessing. However, there's a fine line between care and control. Helicopter family members, much like the name suggests, hover over you incessantly. They might appear to be concerned about your life choices, offering advice at every turn, but beneath this guise of care lies a deep need for control. Helicopter family members often dictate major life decisions, such as career choices, relationships, and even day-to-day activities. They might insist that they know what's best for you, leaving little room for you to grow independently. While their intentions may initially seem well-meaning, over time, their constant interference stifles your ability to trust your own judgment. When we live under the shadow of helicopter relatives, we lose the opportunity to learn from our mistakes or to celebrate our achievements fully. Instead, everything becomes a reflection of their desires for us. This control can breed a sense of inadequacy and dependence. In some cases, their involvement stems from their own insecurities as they attempt to live vicariously through your successes and failures. The inability to break free from their influence can lead to long-term damage to self-esteem, making it difficult to trust your own instincts. The path to healing involves recognizing that guidance is not the same as control. We need to differentiate between genuine advice that helps us grow and manipulative suggestions that steer us away from our authentic selves. Establishing boundaries and asserting our independence can be difficult, especially if guilt has been instilled in us from a young age. But understanding that independence is not an act of rebellion, but an act of self-empowerment, is key to breaking free from the helicopter family member's grasp. Number 2. The entitled family member, the expectation of unearned rewards. Entitlement within families is a delicate and often painful dynamic. The entitled family member expects that they should benefit from your hard work, success, or generosity, even if they played no part in your journey. This individual often demands a share of your achievements, whether it's financial success, career breakthroughs, or personal happiness. They may not have been there during your struggles, yet they suddenly appear when things start going well, expecting to reap the rewards of your efforts. These family members may frame their entitlement as familial duty or loyalty. Phrases like, "We're family, you owe me," or "You wouldn't have this without me," are common tools of manipulation, They fail to acknowledge the sacrifices, dedication, and personal investment it took for you to reach your goals. And when their demands are unmet, they can turn resentful, calling you selfish or ungrateful. The challenge in dealing with entitled family members is that their sense of ownership over your life can become suffocating. They often play the victim when their unreasonable expectations aren't met, leveraging guilt and family loyalty to get what they want. In their eyes, they are entitled not only to your resources, but to your emotional labor as well. Setting boundaries with these individuals is crucial. While it may feel unnatural or selfish at first, protecting your emotional and financial well-being is necessary for personal growth. By learning to say no firmly and without apology, you reclaim your right to your own success. The fear of disappointing family members can be overwhelming, but true self-respect lies in knowing when to protect your personal space from those who take without giving. Number 3. The invader. When boundaries are ignored, boundaries are essential to healthy relationships. They allow us to maintain our individuality, emotional health, and personal space. Yet, there are family members who simply do not believe in boundaries. These are the invaders, individuals who feel they have the right to intrude on every aspect of your life. Whether it's your career, your marriage, or your private thoughts, nothing is off limits to their intrusion. The invader often presents their interference as concern or love. They will say, "I'm just trying to help," or "I'm doing this for your own good," as they cross lines and push past your comfort zones. However, their relentless need to insert themselves into your affairs can create immense stress and tension. One of the most common examples of invader behavior is seen in in-law dynamics, where parents or other relatives impose their opinions on how a couple should manage their relationship. They may offer unsolicited advice on how to raise children, manage finances, or even suggest when a couple should consider divorce. This meddling can erode trust and autonomy in the relationship, leading to resentment and conflict. Learning to enforce boundaries with invaders is difficult but necessary. This may require difficult conversations and even a temporary distancing, especially if they refuse to respect the boundaries you set. However, enforcing these limits is an act of self-respect and a vital step toward building healthy, independent relationships that are free from outside manipulation. Number 4. The guilt tripper. Masters of emotional manipulation. Guilt is a powerful emotion, and when wielded as a weapon, it can be incredibly destructive. The guilt tripper is a family member who uses guilt as a primary tool for control. They are experts at making you feel responsible for their happiness, often laying blame for their dissatisfaction, loneliness, or struggles squarely on your shoulders. These family members often say things like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me," or "I've sacrificed so much, and you can't even do this one thing for me." Such statements are carefully crafted to make you feel ungrateful, ashamed, and obligated to meet their demands. Guilt tripping can be subtle, but over time, it can erode your self-worth. You begin to question whether your decisions are truly your own, or whether you're constantly living in reaction to the guilt that has been placed on you. This dynamic is especially common between parents and children, where the parent uses guilt to maintain control, often well into the child's adulthood. The antidote to guilt tripping lies in self-awareness. Recognize when you are being manipulated, and remember that you are not responsible for someone else's happiness. Emotional manipulation can only succeed if we allow it to take root in our minds. By learning to detach from the guilt and maintaining a firm sense of self, we can resist the emotional blackmail that guilt trippers rely on. Number 5. The sacrificial lamb, the unseen strings of generosity. In every family, there are individuals who have made sacrifices for others. Whether it's financial support, emotional care, or time, these acts of generosity are often celebrated as expressions of love. However, in some cases, these sacrifices come with unseen strings attached. The sacrificial lamb is a family member who believes that because they have done something for you in the past, you owe them for life. This dynamic can be particularly toxic because it creates an unspoken contract of obligation. The family member may have helped you in a time of need, but instead of their generosity being an act of kindness, it becomes a tool for control. They may frequently remind you of their past sacrifices, subtly or overtly, implying that you are indebted to them indefinitely. Parents can sometimes fall into this category, using their sacrifices during their children's upbringing as leverage to demand obedience or resources in the future. The sacrificial lamb's emotional currency is guilt, as they constantly remind you of how much they gave up for you, implying that your success or happiness is only possible because of their actions. Breaking free from this sense of obligation requires a shift in perspective. Acts of kindness should never come with an expectation of repayment. Love, by its nature, is freely given, not traded. When a family member weaponizes their past sacrifices, it's essential to remind yourself that true generosity is unconditional. You do not owe someone your life because they once helped you. Setting emotional boundaries around this narrative allows you to reclaim your independence and reject the notion that you are forever in debt to their past actions. Number 6. The toxic relative, emotional vampires in disguise. Toxic relatives are perhaps the most damaging of all family members because they have the power to poison not only your relationship with them, but also your sense of self. These are individuals who thrive on drama, negativity, and conflict, often leaving you emotionally drained and scarred after each interaction. Toxic relatives can come in many forms: the chronic complainer, the narcissist, the emotional manipulator, or even the passive-aggressive underminer. What makes toxic family members particularly difficult to deal with is their ability to mask their toxicity under the guise of concern or love. They might criticize your life choices for your own good, or create chaos in the family, only to claim they are trying to keep everyone together. Their manipulation often leaves you doubting yourself as they twist reality to suit their narrative. The lasting effects of toxic relatives can be profound. After years of exposure to their negativity, you might struggle with self-esteem, find it difficult to maintain healthy relationships, or even internalize their harmful behaviors. Emotional scars left by toxic relatives can linger long after you've distanced yourself from them. Healing from the damage caused by toxic family members requires a deliberate process of self-care and emotional detachment. It may involve therapy, journaling, or spending time with people who nurture and uplift you. The most important step, however, is recognizing that you have the power to walk away. Cutting ties or limiting contact with toxic relatives is not an act of cruelty, but of self-preservation. You deserve peace, and sometimes that peace can only be found by distancing yourself from those who thrive on chaos. Number 7. The aggressive member, anger as a weapon. In every family, conflict is inevitable. However, when conflict turns into aggression, whether verbal or physical, the family dynamic becomes toxic. The aggressive family member uses anger as a tool to dominate and intimidate, creating an atmosphere of fear and anxiety. They might have explosive tempers, lashing out at others without warning. In some cases, their aggression may be subtle, manifesting in sharp words, cold stares, or passive-aggressive remarks that leave you on edge. Dealing with aggressive family members is particularly challenging because their behavior is unpredictable. You might feel like you are walking on eggshells, constantly trying to avoid triggering their anger. This can lead to feelings of helplessness, as you find yourself trapped in a cycle of appeasement, always trying to keep the peace. Recognizing that you cannot change another person is key when dealing with aggressive family members. Their anger is their responsibility, not yours. Setting boundaries and limiting contact can help protect your emotional and physical well-being. If their behavior escalates to physical violence, it is crucial to seek support from professionals, whether it's a counselor, social worker, or legal authority. Protecting yourself and your family should always be your top priority. Family is often seen as the cornerstone of our lives, providing us with the foundation for growth, love, and understanding. However, not all family relationships are nurturing. Some can be deeply harmful, eroding our sense of self and leaving us emotionally scarred. Recognizing the signs of toxic family members, whether they are helicopter controllers, entitled takers, invaders, guilt trippers, sacrificial manipulators, emotional vampires, or aggressive bullies, is the first step toward reclaiming your power. Healing from the damage caused by toxic family members takes time, but it begins with the recognition that you are worthy of love, respect, and independence. By setting boundaries, seeking support, and distancing yourself from harmful relationships, you create space for personal growth and peace. Ultimately, family is not defined by blood alone, but by the people who genuinely care for your well-being, nurture your spirit, and support your journey toward becoming your true self. If this message resonates with you and you're seeking more guidance on spiritual growth and inner healing, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Together, we can continue exploring the wisdom to find peace and live authentically. In a world full of noise and distraction, there is one voice that follows us more closely than any other, our own. This internal dialogue, the ongoing conversation we have with ourselves, is deeply ingrained in human nature. It's as natural as breathing, eating, or sleeping. Yet, despite its constant presence, many of us remain unaware of the profound influence these silent conversations have on the fabric of our lives. We cannot simply shut off this inner chatter, but we can transform it. The nature and direction of our thoughts hold the key to our happiness, success, and peace of mind. Whether we realize it or not, our inner dialogue shapes the circumstances of our existence, serving as the foundation from which our reality springs. As the proverb says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Our external world is, in many ways, a reflection of the thoughts and conversations that occupy our minds. But what happens when these inner conversations are negative, repetitive, and self-limiting? How do we break free from the patterns that no longer serve us? The answer lies in becoming conscious of our thoughts, learning to guide them purposefully, and aligning them with the life we wish to create. This is not an easy task. It requires shedding old habits, releasing outdated mental scripts, and embracing a new way of thinking. The Bible speaks of this transformation as putting off the old man and renewing ourselves in the spirit of the mind. This spiritual renewal starts with our internal speech. To change our lives, we must first change the way we speak to ourselves. In this journey, we will discover that our internal conversations are not just fleeting thoughts, they are the seeds of our future. Every moment of the day, whether we are aware of it or not, we are engaged in a dialogue with ourselves. These thoughts, these internal conversations, form the undercurrent of our consciousness. Over time, they become so automatic that we no longer question them. We become so accustomed to the voices in our head that we stop paying attention to their tone, content, or impact. And yet, they are shaping the course of our lives. Just as the body cannot function without food, the mind cannot function without thoughts. But like food, the quality of our thoughts determines the health of our mind and soul. Negative internal conversations, those filled with fear, doubt, envy, or anger, poison our inner world, while positive, uplifting dialogues nourish our spirit and align us with our true purpose. The world we experience on the outside is intricately connected to the mental landscape we cultivate within. Our external circumstances are often the physical manifestation of the thoughts we consistently entertain. And while many of us blame external forces for the difficulties in our lives, the real source of our challenges often lies within. As long as we maintain the same internal dialogue, we will continue to experience the same reality. If you want to change your external world, you must first transform your internal world. This is a process of unlearning and relearning, of becoming consciously aware of your thoughts and guiding them in a direction that supports your highest aspirations. Our internal conversations are like magnets, attracting people, events, and circumstances that reflect our dominant thoughts. When we speak negatively to ourselves, we invite negative experiences into our lives. But when we engage in positive, affirming dialogue, we begin to attract opportunities and people that align with our goals. Why do we find it so difficult to break free from negative internal dialogue? One reason is that these conversations are often unconscious. They operate in the background, beneath the surface of our awareness, and because we've repeated them for so long, they've become habitual. These negative scripts shape how we view ourselves and the world, often creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. Imagine someone who constantly tells themselves, "I'm not good enough," or "Nothing ever works out for me." These thoughts, repeated day after day, become deeply embedded in the subconscious mind, shaping not only their beliefs, but also their actions. Without realizing it, they begin to sabotage their own efforts, unconsciously seeking out experiences that confirm their negative self-view. This is the danger of allowing unchecked negative conversations to dominate our mind. They create a cycle of disappointment, frustration, and self-doubt that perpetuates itself. Trying to change your external life without addressing the negative thoughts within is like battling against a tidal wave. No matter how hard you push forward, the current will always pull you back unless you change its direction. The first step in transforming your internal dialogue is becoming conscious of it. Start by paying attention to the thoughts that arise when you're faced with challenges or when things don't go as planned. What do you tell yourself in those moments? Do you criticize yourself, or do you offer encouragement? Are your thoughts filled with fear and doubt, or are they grounded in faith and resilience? Once you become aware of these conversations, you can begin to change them. This doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect or ignoring real challenges. Instead, it means shifting the tone of your internal speech. For example, instead of saying, "I'll never get this right," try saying, "I may not have succeeded yet, but I'm learning and improving every day." This simple shift in language can have a profound impact on your mindset and, by extension, your results. The Bible offers profound wisdom on this topic, instructing us to renew our minds and to be transformed by the way we think. In practical terms, this means reprogramming our internal conversations to align with our desired reality. It requires conscious effort and discipline, but the rewards are immense. When we align our thoughts with positivity, faith, and purpose, we unlock the creative power of our mind and begin to attract the life we truly want. One of the most powerful tools for manifesting change is learning to speak from a place of fulfilled desires. This means adopting an internal dialogue that reflects the reality you wish to create, even before it physically manifests in your life. If you desire success, you must speak to yourself as if you are already successful. If you long for peace, your internal conversations must reflect a state of peace, even in the midst of chaos. Many ancient spiritual teachings emphasize the importance of aligning thought with action. In the Bible it is said, "Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks." This wisdom reminds us that our speech, both internal and external, is a reflection of our inner beliefs. If we want to change our external circumstances, we must first ensure that our inner dialogue is in harmony with the life we wish to lead. In the words of Neville Goddard, you and your internal conversation are one. This means that what you say to yourself in the privacy of your mind shapes who you are and what you experience. By speaking to yourself from a place of fulfilled desire, you begin to bridge the gap between your current reality and the future you want to create. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions start to align with your vision, and as a result, your external world begins to shift to match your inner state. The idea that our inner thoughts shape our reality is not new. Mystics, sages, and spiritual teachers throughout history have spoken of the mind's power to create. The phrase, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God," illustrates the profound connection between thought, the Word, and creation. In this sense, our inner dialogue is a powerful tool for creation, just as God spoke the universe into being. Our words, whether spoken aloud or silently within, carry powerful vibrations that influence the world around us. Just as a pebble tossed into a still pond creates ripples that extend far beyond the initial impact, our internal conversations generate waves of energy that resonate outward, shaping the people, circumstances, and experiences that come into our lives. These vibrations are subtle, but their effects are profound, often creating a reality that mirrors the tone of our thoughts. When we dwell in negativity, speaking to ourselves from a place of fear, doubt, or lack, those vibrations attract more of the same. We unconsciously align with experiences that reinforce those negative feelings, as if we are inviting hardship, disappointment, and scarcity into our lives. The more we repeat these internal messages, the stronger the signal we send, and the more our reality reflects those limiting beliefs. However, the opposite is also true. When we intentionally shift our inner dialogue to focus on abundance, gratitude, and self-assurance, we begin to send out different, more positive vibrations. This shift changes the energy we project and in turn attracts circumstances and opportunities that mirror these elevated states of being. Speaking from a place of inner abundance, believing in our worth and possibilities, sets in motion a powerful transformation. Over time, this positive resonance draws people, situations, and experiences that align with our higher intentions, helping us create a life that reflects the fullness we hold within. Changing your inner dialogue is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong practice. Just as physical fitness requires regular exercise, mental fitness requires consistent attention to the quality of your thoughts. Each day presents a new opportunity to align your internal conversations with the life you want to live. Start by setting aside time each day to consciously focus on your inner speech. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself in different situations, particularly when you face challenges or setbacks. If you catch yourself engaging in negative self-talk, pause and reframe your thoughts. Replace self-doubt with self-compassion and replace fear with faith. One powerful technique is visualization. Take a few minutes each day to close your eyes and imagine yourself living the life you desire. See yourself in your ideal career, relationship, or health state. As you do this, pay close attention to the words you speak in your mind during the visualization. Are they words of encouragement, confidence, and success? Or are they filled with doubt and fear? By consciously aligning your inner speech with your vision, you train your mind to expect success and manifest it in your life. Imagination is one of the most potent tools for transforming your life. When you engage your imagination, you tap into the creative power of your mind. Your imagination is not a mere escape from reality. It is a tool for shaping reality. Think of imagination as a rehearsal for the future. When you imagine yourself achieving your goals, you are not only visualizing the outcome, you're training your mind and body to experience the feelings and emotions associated with that success. This process creates a powerful alignment between your internal state and your desired external reality. However, imagination requires more than passive daydreaming. It requires active engagement with your inner dialogue. As you envision your future self, pay close attention to the words you speak in your mind. Are they words of fear and limitation, or are they words of empowerment and possibility? If you find yourself encountering internal resistance, doubts, fears, or limiting beliefs, view these as opportunities for growth. These resistances are the blocks that stand between you and your desired reality, and addressing them is crucial for transformation. Resistance often arises when we attempt to change our internal dialogue, especially if we've been accustomed to negative or limiting thoughts for a long time. These resistances manifest as doubt, fear, or discomfort, and they signal areas in our mind that need healing and attention. Rather than avoiding resistance, embrace it as a natural part of the process. When you encounter negative thoughts or limiting beliefs, pause and ask yourself where they come from. Are they based on past experiences, fears, or societal conditioning? Once you identify the source, you can begin to challenge these beliefs and replace them with empowering truths. For example, if you encounter the belief, "I'm not capable of achieving this goal," ask yourself, is this belief based on fact, or is it a fear that has been reinforced over time? This act of questioning is powerful because it helps you recognize that many of your doubts are not based on objective truth, but rather on old patterns of thinking, often shaped by past experiences or fear of failure. By challenging these beliefs, you weaken their grip on your mind. This process opens the door to new possibilities, giving you the opportunity to replace those negative, self-limiting thoughts with ones that are empowering. Instead of viewing obstacles as confirmation of your inadequacy, you can begin to see them as challenges to be overcome. Each time you consciously dismantle these limiting beliefs, you make space for a mindset rooted in self-confidence and growth, enabling you to move closer to your goals with renewed belief in your own capabilities. As you continue to reshape and elevate your inner dialogue, you will gradually witness a profound shift in your external reality. The relationships you attract, the progress in your career, the state of your health, and your personal growth will begin to mirror the positive, empowering conversations you cultivate within. This transformation occurs because your inner beliefs and thoughts shape the energy you emit, influencing the opportunities, people, and experiences that come into your life. The key to maintaining this positive transformation is consistency. Just as habits form through repeated actions, your internal dialogue must be consistently aligned with your highest potential. This means choosing thoughts that support your growth and success, and consciously speaking to yourself with love, compassion, and confidence. When challenges arise, your inner voice should encourage resilience rather than doubt. By mastering the art of intentional, conscious inner speech, you unlock the incredible power of your mind to shape your reality. The more you align your thoughts with your aspirations, the more you can manifest your dreams and live in harmony with your true self. This inner work is the foundation for a life of fulfillment, as it fosters the mindset and energy necessary for realizing your deepest desires and achieving lasting personal transformation. In the end, the most important conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Every thought, every word, and every internal dialogue is a seed that will eventually bear fruit in your life. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. As you embark on the journey of transforming your inner dialogue, remember that change begins within. By consciously directing your thoughts toward positivity, abundance, and possibility, you open the door to a life of fulfillment and success. Your internal conversations are not mere words. They are the building blocks of your reality. Take control of them, and you take control of your destiny. Choose your thoughts wisely, speak to yourself with love, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never imagined possible. If you found value in this video, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you'll stay connected and be the first to receive our new content designed to support you on your path to spiritual growth and personal transformation. Your journey matters, and together we can create a community that uplifts and empowers each other. Thank you again, and may peace and blessings follow you on your path. Have you ever been in a relationship where, no matter how hard you tried, something just felt off? Maybe you've prayed, sought advice, and hoped for change, yet despite your efforts, things simply aren't aligning. Relationships, especially when you feel deeply attached, can be one of the most challenging aspects of life to navigate. Sometimes, what we desire may not be what God has in store for us, and it takes a discerning heart to recognize His voice amidst the noise of emotions and expectations. This is not about blame, but about divine guidance. If you've ever found yourself questioning whether your relationship is truly meant to be, you're not alone. Often, God will use a variety of ways to guide us when we're making decisions, especially when it comes to the relationships that shape our lives. In this extended discussion, we'll explore 7 profound ways that God might be trying to tell you that a relationship is not right for you. But first, if you're new here, feel free to like and subscribe to stay connected with all of our spiritually uplifting content. Without further ado, let's dive in. One of the most subtle but powerful ways God speaks to us is through inner peace. If you find yourself feeling consistently uneasy, anxious, or restless about a relationship, it could be a clear sign that God is nudging you to reconsider. God is a God of peace. When He is guiding you towards something, His presence brings an undeniable sense of calm. Philippians 4:6-7 reminds us, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Notice how Paul highlights that God's peace will guard your heart and mind. This is more than just a fleeting sense of comfort. It's a deep, unshakable tranquility that even the most challenging external circumstances cannot break. When a relationship is truly aligned with God's will, This peace envelops both you and your partner. There is a sense of ease, a mutual understanding, and harmony that feels natural, as if God Himself is smiling upon the union. However, if you constantly find yourself in a state of tension or unrest, no matter how perfect the relationship may appear on paper, this may be God's way of telling you to pause. Restlessness can be a sign that something spiritual is out of balance, and it's essential to listen closely. Resistance, especially persistent or unexpected resistance, can be another indicator that a relationship is not in line with God's plan for your life. At first glance, this might seem like normal relationship hurdles, but pay attention to the nature and consistency of these barriers. Resistance can come in the form of constant setbacks, miscommunications, or even external factors that repeatedly disrupt your relationship. Maybe plans fall through continuously, or perhaps important conversations are avoided or never seem to go smoothly. Sometimes God allows delays or obstacles not to frustrate us, but to gently show us that we are heading in a direction that isn't best for us. It's vital to differentiate between natural challenges and divine resistance. The devil can throw challenges our way to create confusion or disillusionment, but God's resistance is protective, not punitive. He may be asking you to step back, slow down, or reconsider. Sometimes His no is simply not yet, or His way of saying, I have something better in store for you. Rather than pushing through and trying to make things happen on your terms, it's better to seek spiritual counsel, reflect in prayer, and ask God to reveal what He truly desires for you. His guidance is never meant to restrict, but to direct you toward the path of fullness and joy. Ignoring red flags is one of the most common reasons people find themselves trapped in relationships that God never intended for them. We often let emotions cloud our judgment, hoping that things will improve with time, effort, or love. But while growth and improvement are essential in any relationship, there are some behaviors and patterns that serve as divine warnings. Ephesians 5:25 gives a beautiful model for how love should look within a relationship. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave Himself up for her. This scripture illustrates the profound sacrificial love that Christ has for the church, a love characterized by respect, kindness, and selflessness. If the person you're with consistently displays behaviors such as disrespect, emotional manipulation, verbal or physical abuse, dishonesty, or a general lack of integrity, these are serious indicators that this relationship is not aligned with God's plan for you. Far too often, people fall into the trap of believing they can fix or change their partner after committing to the relationship or getting married. They might hold on to the hope that love, patience, or time will somehow resolve deeply ingrained issues. However, the reality is that marriage doesn't magically heal these wounds. It often intensifies them. The pressures of commitment, shared responsibilities, and deeper emotional ties can amplify toxic dynamics rather than smooth them over. While it's natural to want to see the best in someone, it's critical to remember that only God has the power to transform a person's heart. No amount of personal effort, sacrifice, or wishful thinking can change someone who isn't willing to change themselves. True transformation must come from within, through a personal conviction and openness to God's guidance. You cannot be the source of someone's salvation or personal growth if they are unwilling to acknowledge their flaws and work on them. That's why it's so important to recognize red flags early on, before becoming too deeply invested. Ignoring them can lead to an emotional, mental, and even spiritual toll that becomes increasingly hard to escape. The deeper you are entangled in a relationship built on broken foundations, the more difficult it is to extricate yourself without significant pain. Protecting your heart and spiritual well-being should always come first. Trust that God will guide you toward relationships that honor Him and reflect the kind of love He desires for you. A relationship that is from God will help you grow closer to your true self, the person He created you to be. If you find yourself losing your identity, changing in negative ways, or sacrificing your values and principles to make a relationship work, this could be a significant sign that something is wrong. God's desire is for you to become the fullest, most authentic version of yourself. He has a purpose for your life, a calling, and a unique mission that only you can fulfill. A relationship that diminishes your sense of self or forces you to fit into a mold that goes against who you are is not a relationship blessed by God. Consider this. Have you ever noticed how some relationships transform a once vibrant, joyful person into someone who is constantly on edge, bitter, or anxious? It's as if the relationship has drained the life and light from them. This is often a clear indicator that the relationship is not aligned with God's will. In contrast, a relationship that is in line with God's design will enhance your character. It will draw out the best in you, encourage your spiritual growth, and give you the freedom to pursue your dreams and passions. You should feel a sense of partnership with your significant other, where both of you are working together to become the people God has called you to be. The fear of God is the foundation of any relationship that can truly last and bring joy. Without this reverence, it becomes difficult for either person in the relationship to have the humility, self-discipline, and respect necessary to make the relationship work. When the Bible talks about the fear of God, it doesn't mean being afraid of God. Instead, it refers to a deep, reverential awe and respect for the Creator. This fear of God acts as a guiding principle in all our interactions. It teaches us to treat others with love, patience, kindness, and dignity. If you're in a relationship with someone who openly dismisses or mocks the importance of faith, or who has no respect for the sacredness of your spiritual beliefs, this is a major red flag. When someone lacks a healthy respect for God, they often lack the moral and ethical boundaries that hold a relationship together in difficult times. The absence of spiritual accountability means that they may not see the importance of integrity, commitment, or fidelity. God-centered relationships are built on a mutual reverence for His wisdom and guidance. Without that, the relationship can easily drift into selfishness, impatience, and even moral compromise. In any relationship, shared values and a common vision for the future are crucial. Amos 3:3 asks, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" This powerful question highlights the importance of alignment in a relationship. If two people are walking in different directions, how can they reach the same destination? While it's healthy for couples to have different interests and perspectives, there must be core values and beliefs that align. This includes your spiritual beliefs, views on marriage, family, career goals, and even your vision for what a fulfilling life looks like. Disagreements on these foundational aspects can create friction, confusion, and frustration. Incompatibility isn't just about having different opinions. It's about having conflicting desires that will shape your life together. It's easy to ignore these differences early on when emotions are running high, but they become far more challenging as the relationship progresses. If your long-term visions don't align, it's likely a sign that God has a different path for you. When considering a relationship, pray for discernment. Ask God to help you see clearly whether this person shares your values, respects your dreams, and desires to walk in step with you as you both pursue God's plan for your lives. God communicates with us in many ways, and one of those ways can be through dreams, visions, and spiritual impressions. While not every dream or feeling is a direct message from God, there are times when the Holy Spirit will use these methods to guide us, especially when we are uncertain or conflicted about a decision. In Genesis 20, we see how God appeared to Abimelech in a dream to warn him that Sarah, Abraham's wife, was not meant to be his. This divine intervention protected Abimelech from making a grave mistake. Similarly, God may use dreams or subtle spiritual impressions to warn us when we are heading in the wrong direction in a relationship. It's important to be open to these spiritual experiences and to discern their meaning through prayer, meditation, and reflection. While these signs can sometimes be mysterious, God never leaves us without the tools we need to interpret them. Seek counsel from trusted spiritual leaders or friends, and ask for the Holy Spirit's guidance in revealing what God is trying to communicate to you. Remember, God respects your free will. He won't force you to make a decision, but He will provide the wisdom and insight you need to make the best choice for your life. The more we seek His will and listen to His voice, the clearer His guidance will become. Relationships are a beautiful and complex part of life, and they have the power to either uplift or derail our spiritual journey. God, in His infinite wisdom, knows what is best for us and will never withhold what is truly good. Yet He also gives us the freedom to choose, which means we must be vigilant and discerning in our decisions. If you've found yourself questioning a relationship, consider these 7 divine signs carefully. Reflect on whether the peace of God is present, if resistance is showing you a different path, and whether there are red flags or incompatibilities that cannot be ignored. Trust that God will guide you, not only through the advice of others, but through the whispers of your own spirit. Above all, remember that God's plan for you is perfect, and even if you have to let go of something that feels familiar or comfortable, He has something far greater in store for you. So, keep faith, and let His peace guard your heart as you walk in the path He has laid out for you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If this message touched your heart or gave you something to reflect on, we encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. We are willing to hear from you and support each other on this spiritual journey. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel so you can stay connected with more uplifting content. Together, we can continue to grow, learn, and seek the deeper wisdom that guides us all. Blessings to you, and may you always walk in the peace and love of God.
Welcome back, my dear friends. As the great mystic Rumi once said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." In our quest for enlightenment, we are not simply navigating mystical auras or divine revelations. We are often called to confront our deepest shadows, the wounds we carry as chosen ones. Our fears, struggles, and moments of doubt are all part of the sacred process of transformation. These challenges are not burdens to be resented, but portals through which the light of divine truth pours into our lives. Today we shall explore this intricate balance. The life of a chosen one is not only marked by heightened awareness, but also by profound moments of isolation, inner turmoil, and the pressure to live up to an immense spiritual destiny. As we navigate these uncharted waters together, know that you are not alone. We will shed light on the shadows that accompany spiritual awakening and, in doing so, find solace and strength. Together, we will confront these challenges and discover the wisdom hidden within. So stay with us throughout this journey, And if you find this message resonates with your soul, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Inner Mystics. Your support helps spread this light and brings our community closer. Now let's dive into the hidden truths that chosen ones face. One of the first truths about being a chosen one is the heightened sense of awareness that permeates every aspect of life. Imagine living with an enhanced radar system that picks up on the subtlest vibrations in the world around you. Emotions, energies, hidden truths. You may sense things others are blissfully unaware of, whether it's the sadness lurking behind a friend's smile or the unspoken tension in a room full of people. This acute perception is both a gift and a burden. On one hand, heightened awareness allows you to connect with the deeper rhythms of the universe. You can see beyond the surface, uncovering the interconnectedness of all things. The beauty of nature, the joy of a kind word, the whisper of the cosmos, all resonate deeply within you, offering profound moments of clarity and insight. This heightened awareness serves as a guiding light on your spiritual journey, helping you navigate life's challenges with wisdom and grace. Yet this same awareness also exposes you to the darker aspects of the world. Walking into a room, you may instantly feel the stress, anger, or sadness of those around you. It's as if you're a sponge, absorbing the emotional and energetic turmoil of others, whether you want to or not. The weight of the world's suffering can feel relentless, battering your senses and leaving you exhausted. Every news headline, every personal interaction, can feel like a barrage of negativity that threatens to overwhelm your inner peace. As a chosen one, managing this sensitivity is crucial. Without proper boundaries, you can easily fall into a cycle of overthinking and emotional burnout. You may find yourself trapped in a loop, constantly processing the emotions and energies you pick up, struggling to make sense of it all. The mind can become a whirlwind of second-guessing, where every subtle shift in energy feels like a puzzle to be solved. This mental fatigue, coupled with the emotional drain of absorbing others' pain, can leave you feeling utterly depleted. The key here is learning to navigate this sensitivity with grace and wisdom. As a chosen one, your heightened awareness is a gift, but it can also feel overwhelming if not properly managed. It's essential to recognize that the solution isn't about shutting down your awareness or dulling your sensitivities. Instead, the journey is about cultivating practices that allow you to protect and sustain your energy while remaining open to the world around you. Grounding techniques, such as spending time in nature, walking barefoot on the earth, or even visualizing roots extending from your body into the ground, can help anchor you when external energies feel too overwhelming. These simple but powerful practices reconnect you to the earth's calming energy, bringing a sense of stability and peace when emotions run high. Mindful breathing is another invaluable tool. In moments of chaos or energetic overload, taking slow, deep breaths allows you to return to the present moment, calming the nervous system and creating a buffer between you and the outside world. This practice not only centers you but also helps regulate emotional responses, allowing you to process intense energies without becoming overwhelmed. Intentional solitude is equally important. As someone who is naturally attuned to the energies of others, you may find that periods of alone time are essential for recalibrating your spirit. These moments of quiet reflection and solitude allow you to release any emotional residue you may have picked up throughout the day. Whether through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in silence, solitude offers a sacred space for you to recharge and connect with your inner self. By integrating these practices into your daily life, you create a protective shield around your energy field, allowing you to maintain your inner balance and peace amidst the chaos. When you nurture your own well-being, you continue to shine your light without being consumed by the darkness or negativity around you. This is the delicate dance of being a chosen one, learning to embrace your heightened sensitivity while cultivating the strength to stand firm in your own energy. Being a chosen one often comes with a profound sense of purpose. You may feel as though you've been handed a cosmic mission, something that gives your life meaning and direction. But with this sense of purpose comes immense pressure. It's as if you're carrying the weight of a boulder on your shoulders, tasked with fulfilling a destiny that you may not fully understand. This sense of responsibility can be overwhelming. There's no instruction manual for the path you're on, no clear guidelines for how to navigate the twists and turns of your spiritual journey. The pressure to live up to your potential, to not waste your gifts, can lead to constant self-questioning. You may find yourself striving for perfection in everything you do, fearing that any misstep could derail your divine mission. It's important to recognize that this pressure, whether self-imposed or perceived from others, can be paralyzing. You may feel a relentless need to prove yourself, to be the best version of who you think you're supposed to be. This striving for success can overshadow the joy and fulfillment that should naturally arise from living in alignment with your purpose. Instead of feeling inspired by your calling, you may find yourself burdened by it. Moreover, the fear of failure looms large for many chosen ones. The stakes feel higher because your path is not just about personal success. It's tied to a greater spiritual mission. Every decision you make, every action you take, feels significant. The pressure to succeed can lead to chronic stress, where even small setbacks are magnified into existential crises. You may constantly overthink how to be more successful, whether in your career, relationships, or personal growth, always striving for better and feeling guilty for taking breaks. But here's the truth. Your worth is not measured by how perfectly you fulfill your purpose. The divine does not expect perfection from you. Your purpose is not a burden to bear, but a path to walk with grace and curiosity. When you release the pressure to perform, you open yourself up to the joy and freedom that comes with living authentically. It's not about doing everything right. It's about being true to yourself and embracing the journey with all its ups and downs. As a chosen one, you likely operate on a higher vibrational frequency, which allows you to tap into the beauty and harmony of the universe. This heightened vibration can lead to moments of deep connection, where you feel aligned with the flow of the cosmos and filled with joy, love, and light. Yet this same vibrational sensitivity also makes you more attuned to the chaos and negativity of the world. It's like having an internal tuning fork that resonates with every high and low frequency around you. While you can experience profound joy and connection, you are also acutely aware of discord, suffering, and distress. The constant barrage of negative energies can feel overwhelming, leaving you drained and disconnected from your own inner peace. Living in a world that seems perpetually out of harmony with your higher vibration can be deeply challenging. You may struggle to relate to those around you, feeling as though your experiences and perceptions are out of sync with the collective consciousness. Conversations that once seemed engaging may now feel trivial, and you may find it difficult to engage in activities that others enjoy. This disconnect can lead to a profound sense of loneliness and isolation, as you search for deeper meaning and connection in a world that often seems focused on the superficial. Maintaining a higher vibration requires continuous effort and mindfulness. It's not enough to simply stay positive. You must actively cultivate practices that keep your energy high, even in the face of negativity. Meditation, energy work, and spending time in nature can help you stay grounded and aligned with your higher self. But it's also important to acknowledge that it's okay to struggle. It's okay to feel overwhelmed by the weight of the world at times. The key is to practice self-compassion, allowing yourself the space to rest and recharge when needed. You are not meant to carry the weight of the world's suffering on your own. By nurturing your own light, you can continue to shine brightly, even in the darkest of times. As a chosen one, you are often called to be a leader, whether you seek the role or not. People naturally look to you for guidance, support, and wisdom. Your spiritual insight and compassionate heart make you the go-to person for advice, whether it's about personal issues, emotional struggles, or navigating life's challenges. While this role can be deeply fulfilling, it also comes with its own set of burdens. Leadership, especially in a spiritual context, can feel like a never-ending responsibility. You may be expected to have all the answers, to always do the right thing, and to shoulder the burdens that others shy away from. This sense of responsibility can create a sense of distance between you and those around you, as few people truly understand the weight you carry. The pressure to always be strong, to always be on, can lead to burnout and exhaustion. Moreover, the constant demands on your time and energy can make it difficult to prioritize your own needs. You may find yourself sacrificing personal desires and leisure in the name of helping others. While you are passionate about making a difference in the world, this relentless focus on serving others can leave you feeling stretched thin, with little time or energy left for yourself. The challenge here is learning to set boundaries without feeling guilty. It's essential to recognize that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Taking time for self-care is not selfish, it's necessary. By nurturing your own well-being, you are better equipped to help others. The key is to find balance, knowing when to step into your role as a leader and when to step back and focus on your own needs. Leadership is not about being perfect or always having the answers. It's about being authentic, showing up with integrity, and leading by example. When you allow yourself the grace to rest and recharge, you become a more effective and compassionate leader. One of the most difficult aspects of being a chosen one is the profound sense of isolation that often accompanies the journey. Despite your heightened awareness and spiritual insights, you may find yourself feeling deeply alone. It's like being a lighthouse, guiding others through the darkness, but isolated from the mainland, standing solitary amidst the crashing waves. Your unique perspective and deep insights set you apart from those around you, making it challenging to find people who truly understand your journey. While others engage in everyday conversations about work, relationships, or entertainment, you may be lost in contemplation of deeper truths and spiritual mysteries. This disconnect can make social interactions feel superficial and unfulfilling, as though the gap between your inner world and the outer world is too vast to bridge. Moreover, the isolation isn't just social, it's emotional. You carry the weight of your insights and challenges by yourself, often without a confidant who can share in your experiences. This emotional solitude can amplify feelings of self-doubt, as there's no external validation or support to reassure you that you're on the right path. Over time, this isolation can spiral into feelings of insignificance and hopelessness, making it harder to stay motivated and positive. But it's important to remember that solitude is not a punishment. It is often the space where the most profound growth occurs. In the quiet of your own company, you are given the opportunity to connect deeply with your own soul, to listen to the whispers of the universe, and to find strength within yourself. While the loneliness may feel overwhelming at times, it is also a fertile ground for self-discovery and transformation. To combat the negative aspects of isolation, seek out kindred spirits who resonate with your journey. Whether through spiritual communities, online groups, or close friendships, finding others who share your perspective can help ease the burden of loneliness. And remember, it's okay to ask for help. You don't have to carry the weight of your journey alone. Resilience is one of the hallmarks of a chosen one's journey. It's like being in a never-ending marathon, where the finish line keeps moving further and further away. Each challenge you face strengthens your character, but the relentless nature of these trials can lead to chronic stress and emotional exhaustion. The potential for emotional scars is the darker side of resilience. Over time, the accumulation of hardships can leave deep wounds that are difficult to heal. The emotional toll of constantly bracing for the next hurdle can weigh heavily on your spirit, leaving you feeling battle-weary and worn down. The expectation to always be the bigger person, to rise above every challenge, can feel like an unfair burden, especially when you are struggling internally. It's important to acknowledge that while resilience is a powerful trait, it comes with its own costs. The constant challenges that build resilience can take a significant toll on your well-being, both mentally and physically. If you don't take time to nurture and heal yourself, these emotional wounds can fester, leading to burnout and depression. The key here is to find ways to nurture yourself amidst the trials. This means practicing self-compassion, allowing yourself the space to rest, and recognizing that it's okay to feel vulnerable. You are not expected to be invincible. Your strength lies not in your ability to avoid pain, but in your ability to move through it with grace and courage. Intuition is one of the greatest gifts a chosen one possesses. It's like having a sixth sense that constantly feeds you information from the unseen world. You may find yourself picking up on truths, emotions, and underlying tensions that others overlook. This intuitive understanding can guide you and provide clarity, helping you navigate life with a deeper sense of purpose. But this gift also comes with its challenges. Your intuition may make you overly cautious or suspicious of others' motives. You may find it difficult to trust people, always sensing the hidden agendas or unspoken emotions that lie beneath the surface. This constant state of alertness can lead to hypervigilance, where you're always on guard, scanning your environment for signs and signals that others miss. While this heightened awareness can be incredibly valuable, it can also be mentally exhausting. The constant influx of intuitive information can leave you feeling drained, as you're perpetually processing and analyzing the energies around you. Finding inner peace and tranquility can be difficult when your mind is always working overtime, trying to make sense of the subtle shifts in the world around you. The key to navigating this intuitive gift is learning how to manage the flow of information. You don't have to tune into everything all the time. By setting energetic boundaries and practicing mindfulness, you can control when and how you engage with your intuition. This allows you to preserve your mental and emotional energy, ensuring that your gift remains a source of strength rather than a burden. My friends, as we conclude our exploration of the shadows that accompany the path of a chosen one, remember this: the challenges you face are not obstacles meant to break you. They are part of the unique journey you have been called to undertake. Each trial, each moment of darkness, is an opportunity for growth, learning, and transformation. Many who believe in soul contracts and past life reincarnation suggest that you chose this life and its experiences as part of your soul's eternal journey. This belief highlights the incredible strength and resilience of your spirit. Every wound, every hardship, is a portal through which the light of divine truth enters your life. So don't be too harsh on yourself. Don't let others' expectations weigh you down or make you feel guilty for taking time to care for your own well-being. Your journey is about balance, giving generously to others while also nurturing yourself. You are not here to carry the weight of the world on your own. Allow yourself the grace to rest, to heal, and to find joy in the process. Your path is one of immense challenges, but it is also one of incredible rewards. Embrace both the light and the dark, for it is through this balance that true enlightenment is found. And always remember, you are not alone. We are all walking this path together, and your light, no matter how dim it may seem at times, shines brightly in the cosmos. Until next time, dear my friends, continue to seek balance, cherish the light within, and face the shadows with courage. If you found this message resonating, I invite you to like, comment, and share it with those who might benefit from it. Together, we can spread this light to others and create a community of seekers who support one another on this sacred journey. May you find peace, strength, and cosmic love on your path. Until we meet again, keep shining. There comes a moment in life when you realize that the chains you've been bound by were never your own. They were forged from the fears, insecurities, and desires of someone else. For some, this epiphany arrives in a quiet moment of reflection. For others, it crashes in like a storm, tearing apart the illusions that once held sway over their lives. But no matter how it arrives, one thing is certain: it marks the beginning of a profound transformation, a journey from bondage to freedom, from darkness to light. This is not just a personal struggle. It's a spiritual awakening. It's about reclaiming your power, the power that was always yours but was buried beneath the weight of someone else's expectations, manipulations, and control. This journey is not for the faint of heart. It requires courage, clarity, and the willingness to confront deep-rooted beliefs about yourself and the people you hold dear. And for many, the person who casts the longest shadow is their mother. For years, you may not have realized the subtle ways in which your mother exerted control over you. Her words of caution, her sighs of disappointment, her veiled criticisms. Each one was a thread in a web designed to keep you small, to tether you to her vision of who you should be. But the truth is, those threads were never about love or protection. They were about control, fear, and insecurity. And now, as you awaken to this truth, you begin to see the web for what it is, a cage built from the inside out, one that you have the power to dismantle. From childhood, there was always a voice in your ear, a quiet but persistent presence that whispered not of encouragement, but of control. It was more than just advice. It was a narrative carefully crafted to keep you small, tethered, and dependent. This wasn't just a protective instinct gone astray. It was a manipulation masked as guidance, laced with fear and guilt, ensuring you never strayed too far from her grasp. Think back to every time she dismissed your dreams with a sigh or met your excitement with a sharp, disapproving glance. Remember how her words seemed to wrap around your thoughts, twisting them until you second-guessed every decision, every moment of joy, every glimmer of independence. This was the spell she cast, not with the flick of a wand, but with every carefully chosen word, every veiled criticism, every comparison that left you feeling less than. Her goal was clear: to keep you tethered to her version of who you were supposed to be, forever in her shadow, never stepping fully into your own light. But the spell was not just in the words she spoke. It was in the tone she used, the look she gave, the silence that filled the air after your successes were met with indifference. It was in the way she constantly reminded you of how much she had sacrificed, making you feel as though your every step forward was somehow a betrayal of her efforts. These were the threads she wove into the fabric of your being, threads that tightened around your spirit every time you dared to shine. Over time, the once impenetrable threads of her control began to fray, not because she loosened her grip, but because you began to see the cracks in the reality she had constructed around you. There was a quiet storm brewing inside you, a sense of something deeply wrong that you could no longer ignore. It was a feeling that you were meant for more, that your life had a purpose far beyond the limitations she had imposed upon you. Every time she questioned your choices as though they were failures of her own, every time she dismissed your victories as insignificant, you felt the chains tighten. But something was changing. What once felt like loving concern now revealed itself as fear. Fear of losing control. Fear of watching you outgrow her influence. Fear of seeing you step into a power that had never belonged to her. It was as if a veil had been lifted, and you began to see her actions for what they truly were. Not guidance, but attempts to keep you small. Not protection, but an effort to control. Her criticisms, once piercing and painful, now served only to expose her own insecurities. Her attempts to clip your wings were less about your well-being and more about her fear of losing the grip she thought she had on your life. The spell she had so carefully woven was unraveling. With every realization, every moment of clarity, her words lost their power. You saw through her manipulations, recognizing them not as truths, but as chains designed to bind you to a version of yourself that served her needs, not your destiny. The storm within you grew, not of anger, but of awakening. You were no longer the pliable child she could mold at will. You were becoming aware, conscious, and strong. Then came the turning point, a moment so quiet yet so powerful that it shifted the entire balance of power. You stood at the edge of a breakthrough, an opportunity that would change everything, a chance to step into a life she had always deemed too big, too bold, too beyond what she had envisioned for you. The excitement surged through you, but this time, you didn't run to her for approval. You held your joy close, shielded it from the storm of negativity you knew she would unleash. It wasn't fear that held your tongue, it was strength. You knew that sharing this joy with her would mean watching her dismantle it piece by piece, just as she had done with so many of your dreams before. This decision marked a quiet rebellion, a defiant choice to protect your own light from the darkness of her disapproval. For the first time, you chose your path over her validation, and in that silence, the spell began to break. You realized her power over you had always been an illusion, one sustained by your need for her approval, a need she had carefully cultivated. She had made you believe that your victories were hollow without her praise, but now you saw it clearly. Her validation was nothing more than another tool to keep you tethered. In that pivotal moment, you reclaimed your destiny. Her disapproving looks and dismissive words no longer defined you. You stopped shrinking yourself to fit into the small, suffocating box she had crafted, and in doing so, you shattered the chains that had bound you for so long. The spell was breaking, and with every step forward you felt the weight lift. As you moved forward, something profound began to happen. The very energy she had used to keep you confined now turned against her. What she had once wielded as power was slipping through her fingers, reversing in a way she never anticipated. Every time she tried to reassert control, to pull you back under her influence, she found herself grasping at shadows, her old tactics now powerless. The spell had reversed and it was binding her. The sharpness of her tone, the manipulative guilt trips, the subtle digs meant to undermine your confidence, they no longer reached you. Instead, they reflected back onto her, highlighting her own fears and insecurities. Her attempts to clip your wings now left her entangled in the very web she had spun, each thread tightening around her. Not you. She watched from the sidelines as you soared higher. Each achievement, each moment of peace and self-realization, a testament to the strength she could no longer deny. Her criticisms, once venomous and capable of cutting deep, now held no power. They fell into a void, unacknowledged and irrelevant. The control she once exercised over your every move was gone, evaporated in the light of your awakening. And then came the realization, the moment her facade began to crack. You could see it in her eyes, the flicker of panic she tried to disguise as frustration. She understood what had happened. The power had shifted, and she was now the one struggling to maintain control. Her once firm grip on your decisions had slipped, and no matter how desperately she tried to pull you back, it was futile. The reversal was complete, and the consequences of her actions began to unfold. The life she had constructed so carefully, built on manipulation and control, started to crumble under its own weight. Her health faltered, as though her own body was rebelling against the venom she had cast toward you. Relationships she had maintained with the same manipulative threads began to fray, exposing the loneliness she had so desperately tried to mask. Her financial security, once a stronghold, now teetered on the brink, as though the universe itself had grown tired of her greed. The walls she had built to contain you were now closing in on her, suffocating her in the same way she had sought to suffocate your spirit. She found herself grappling with setbacks she could no longer control, each one a mirror reflecting back the harm she had tried to inflict upon you. It wasn't that you wished her ill. You simply watched with clarity as the natural consequences of her actions unfolded. The energy she had poured into keeping you small now turned inward, leaving her to confront the emptiness of her own making. Every attempt she made to regain control only served to tighten the noose around her own intentions. The very spells she had relied on to keep you tethered were now her undoing. She tried to wield the old tricks, pulling at the emotional strings she once knew so well, but they no longer had the desired effect. The guilt trips, the accusations, the reminders of her sacrifices, they fell flat, their impact dulled by the clarity you had gained. The veil had been lifted, and what once held you captive now held no sway over you. The final break was not loud or dramatic. It was a quiet severing of ties that happened deep within you, a shift so monumental that it redefined everything. It was the point at which her manipulations no longer affected you, where the weight she once held over your life evaporated, leaving only the clarity of your own strength. You had done the work, healed the wounds she created, and now her scars were nothing more than reminders of battles you had already won. Her power was gone, not because she released it, but because you took it back. You were no longer bound by the chains of guilt, fear, or obligation that once defined your relationship. The moment she truly lost was not one she would even recognize. It was the moment you stopped needing anything from her. No validation, no approval, no acknowledgement. Her control over your life had ended not with a fight, but with the quiet, unshakable truth that you no longer cared. Perhaps it was at a family gathering, during a routine phone call, or in one last desperate attempt to pull you back. She tried again, grasping at the final threads of control, but this time, you were different. Her words, once so heavy, now drifted past you like leaves on the wind. You saw through her, each attempt exposed as nothing more than a last-ditch effort to reclaim a power that had never truly been hers. She could sense it too, though she would never admit it. The distance between you was no longer physical, but it was vast and undeniable. Her attempts to wound you, to pull you back into the familiar patterns of emotional cage building, were futile. You remained still, unshaken, as her words dissolved into nothing. The guilt that had once wrapped itself around you like a chain now broke apart at your feet. You didn't need to defend yourself. Your silence was louder than any rebuttal. You walked away, whether physically or emotionally, unscathed by her last desperate attempt. The spell was shattered, and with it, any hold she thought she had over you. You were free, and for the first time, she was left to grapple with the hollow remains of her broken control. Her influence was a distant memory, crumbling under the weight of your self-realization. This victory was not just about breaking free from her control. It was about reclaiming your autonomy, your voice, and your truth. You were no longer living in the shadow of her manipulation. Every step you took was yours. Every decision guided by your inner strength, rather than external expectations. Her attempts to hold you back had only served to highlight how far you had come. The chains that once held you were broken, and you walked forward unburdened, stronger, and more resilient than ever. You no longer sought her permission to thrive. You no longer needed her to confirm your worth. You had found your strength within, and that inner power was a light she could never extinguish. Now is the time to share your story. How did you break free from the spells others tried to cast on you? How did you reclaim your power and rise above the manipulation? Your triumph is not just a personal victory, it is a beacon for others who are still struggling to free themselves. By sharing your experience, you become a guiding light, helping others recognize their own strength. The spell has been broken and you are free. Free from the chains of manipulation, free from the weight of someone else's expectations, and free to live your life on your terms. This is the ultimate victory, not over your mother, but over the limitations that once held you back. You have reclaimed your power, and with it, your future. The path ahead is yours to shape, and the possibilities are endless. No longer bound by the need for validation or approval, you are free to pursue your dreams, to follow your intuition, and to live in alignment with your true self. The journey of breaking free from the spell of manipulation is not easy, but it is worth it. It requires courage, clarity, and a deep commitment to yourself. But as you walk this path, you will find that the rewards are greater than you could have ever imagined. You are no longer defined by the shadows of your past. You stand tall in your own light, unshaken, unstoppable, and untouchable. The power has always been yours, and now it is undeniable. This is your time, your life, and your truth. Embrace it fully, and watch as the world opens up before you. Now is the time to share your story. How did you break free from the spells others tried to cast on you? How did you reclaim your power and rise above the manipulation? Your triumph is not just a personal victory, it is a beacon for others who are still struggling to free themselves. By sharing your experience, you become a guiding light, helping others recognize their own strength. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Your presence here shows your courage and your desire to grow beyond the shadows of the past. If this video resonated with you, if it inspired you to see your worth and reclaim your power, please consider subscribing to our channel. Join us on this journey of healing, self-discovery, and empowerment. By subscribing, you not only support this community but also ensure that you never miss out on more content designed to uplift and inspire. My friends, remember that the spell is broken. You are free, and the future is yours to create. If you are watching this video right now, know that this moment is not a coincidence. This encounter is divinely orchestrated, a sacred appointment set by forces greater than we can see. In a universe of infinite possibilities, nothing happens by chance. Your presence here is the result of your prayers, your seeking, and your deep yearning for answers. As a chosen one, your journey is unlike any other. It is filled with moments of profound spiritual awakening, divine signs, and sacred nudges that others may overlook or misunderstand. You've been searching, asking for clarity, guidance, and affirmation that your path is aligned with the highest good. Now, in this very moment, the universe has responded. The fact that you have found yourself here is not an accident. It is the result of a spiritual request you made, whether in prayer, meditation, or through the silent cry of your heart. The universe is confirming that your request has been granted, and it is inviting you to explore the next chapter of your spiritual journey. Before we dive deeper into understanding this sacred gift, take a moment to ground yourself. Let the message you are about to receive resonate deeply within your soul. If this message speaks to you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment with 77 to send a powerful signal to the universe that you are ready to embrace the next phase of your awakening. Play this message on repeat, even in the background, to allow its energy to fully align with your higher self. Now let's explore what it means to have your request granted by God and how you, as a chosen one, can fully receive and embody this divine blessing. When you send out a request to the divine, whether through heartfelt prayer, deep meditation, or an inner longing, the answer doesn't always come in the form you expect. The divine speaks to each of us in unique ways, tailored to our individual paths and experiences. For some, the response may come as a powerful dream, while for others, it may manifest as a synchronicity too profound to ignore. As a chosen one, your connection to the universe is particularly profound, and the divine often communicates with you in subtle yet unmistakable ways. For the chosen ones, synchronicities are more than mere coincidences. They are a divine language, a form of communication between you and the universe, affirming that you are on the right path. These events, which seem too perfectly aligned to be random, are the universe's way of weaving together the threads of your life in a pattern that is uniquely yours. Synchronicities can take many forms, each uniquely tailored to your personal journey, acting as gentle reminders that the universe is listening, responding, and guiding you. Perhaps you've been thinking about someone, an old friend, a family member, or even a person you've recently met, and then, out of the blue, they call or send a message. What seemed like a random moment is, in reality, a reflection of the invisible threads that connect all of us. The energy of your thoughts and intentions reaches out into the universe, and in response, the universe orchestrates events in ways that align perfectly with what you need in that moment. Or maybe you've been reflecting on making a significant change in your life, a new career path, a move to a different place, or a deeper spiritual calling. In the midst of your contemplation, a book unexpectedly finds its way into your hands. Whether recommended by a friend, discovered in a bookstore, or even stumbled upon online, the words within seem to speak directly to your heart. This book, in its wisdom, addresses the exact questions you've been wrestling with, offering clarity, direction, or even the courage to take the next step. These experiences are more than mere happenstance. They are clear signs that the universe is responding to your internal dialogue and is offering the insight you need to move forward. Synchronicities often appear not only in personal interactions or encounters with books, but also in seemingly mundane situations, like a song playing at just the right moment. You may have been feeling uncertain or lost, and suddenly, the lyrics of a song resonate deeply with what you're going through, offering a message of hope or validation. These moments are the universe's way of delivering wisdom through art, connecting you to something much larger than yourself. Whether it's a song, a quote, or a passage in a movie, the message is clear. You are seen, heard, and supported in your journey. Sometimes synchronicities present themselves through people. You may have an unexpected conversation with a stranger, a coworker, or even a family member who, unknowingly, says something that resonates with your deepest thoughts or concerns. Their words might offer a new perspective, a solution to a problem, or a spark of inspiration that you hadn't considered before. These interactions are divinely orchestrated, not just random exchanges, but moments where the universe speaks through others to deliver the messages you've been seeking. Another form of synchronicity that often goes unnoticed is the pattern of repeated numbers, often called angel numbers. Have you ever looked at the clock and noticed it's 11:11, or found yourself frequently encountering numbers like 222 or 444? These recurring number sequences carry profound meanings and are a way the universe communicates its alignment with your thoughts and energy. Each number has its own vibration and message, whether it's encouragement to continue on your current path, a reminder to focus on balance, or a sign of divine protection. Paying attention to these patterns can offer valuable insights and confirmation that you are in tune with the spiritual forces at work in your life. The key to fully experiencing these moments is awareness. By cultivating mindfulness and being present in your everyday life, you open yourself to the subtle ways the universe communicates. When you're grounded in the present moment, you can more easily recognize the signs, the patterns, and the seemingly small but significant occurrences that are guiding you. These are not just coincidences. They are opportunities for growth, confirmation that you are on the right path, and reminders that the universe is actively participating in your journey. One of the most profound gifts the universe has bestowed upon you, as a chosen one, is the gift of intuition. This inner compass, this quiet, steady voice that emerges in the stillness of your heart, is your most direct and personal connection to the divine. It speaks not through logic, reason, or the noisy chatter of the mind, but through a deep, unshakable sense of knowing. Your intuition is the sacred language of the soul, a divine channel that transcends the limitations of the material world and offers you access to the boundless wisdom of the universe. While logic and reason have their place in navigating the practical aspects of life, intuition operates on a completely different plane. It is a spiritual sense, attuned to energies, emotions, and subtle forces that exist beyond the grasp of the intellect. Intuition doesn't require the validation of facts or external confirmation. It simply knows. It is the part of you that is deeply connected to the unseen, able to perceive truths and pathways that may not yet be visible to the physical eye. There will be moments in your life when you face uncertainty, when the path ahead seems clouded and the logical mind struggles to make sense of the options before you. It is in these moments that intuition often speaks the loudest, though its voice is gentle and soft. It is not a shout, but a whisper, a quiet, persistent nudge in a certain direction, a subtle feeling that pulls you toward a decision, a person, or an opportunity. You may not know why you feel drawn to a particular course of action, but deep within, you know that it is the right choice for you. Trusting your intuition, however, is not always easy. In a world that often prioritizes logic, data, and external validation, intuition can sometimes be overlooked or dismissed as irrational. You may be tempted to second-guess yourself, to doubt your inner knowing, or to seek confirmation from others. But as a chosen one, it is vital that you cultivate the ability to listen to, trust, and act upon your intuitive guidance. The universe speaks to you through this inner knowing, and when you honor it, you align yourself with the flow of divine wisdom. As you grow more attuned to your intuition, you will notice that it not only guides you in major life decisions, but also in the small, everyday moments. You might feel an intuitive pull to take a different route home, only to encounter an opportunity or person that changes your day, or even your life. You may feel guided to call a friend, only to discover they were in need of support at that exact moment. These small nudges are the universe's way of aligning your life with divine timing and purpose, ensuring that you are exactly where you need to be at every moment. It's important to remember that intuition is not about always being right or making perfect decisions. It is about trusting the process and following the guidance that feels aligned with your soul, even when the outcome is uncertain. There will be times when you follow your intuition, and the path ahead feels challenging or unclear. In these moments, it's crucial to stay the course and trust that the universe is guiding you through experiences that are necessary for your growth and evolution. Intuition may lead you through periods of discomfort or uncertainty, but these are often the times when the deepest transformations occur. In nurturing and trusting your intuition, you strengthen your connection to the divine, allowing yourself to become a vessel through which divine wisdom flows. You learn to navigate life with a sense of ease, knowing that even in moments of uncertainty, you are always being guided by the unseen forces of the universe. Your intuition is your most profound ally on this journey, and by embracing it fully, you unlock the potential to live in harmony with your soul's deepest desires and the greater purpose that the universe has for you. One of the most challenging aspects of the spiritual journey is learning to trust in divine timing. As a chosen one, you may feel an urgency to see your desires manifest immediately, especially when you've worked hard, prayed, and set clear intentions. However, the universe operates on a timeline that is often beyond our understanding, and its wisdom is infinitely greater than our own. Divine timing means that everything happens at exactly the right moment, according to a perfect plan that the universe has for your life. There may be lessons to learn, experiences to have, or people to meet before your request can be fully granted. Sometimes what may feel like a delay is actually a period of preparation, allowing you to grow and evolve into the person who can fully receive the blessing you've asked for. It's natural to feel frustrated when things don't happen according to your timeline. But remember, the universe is always working in your favor, even when it seems like nothing is happening. Trust that every experience, every challenge, and every delay is part of a greater plan that is unfolding for your highest good. Divine timing often requires patience and faith. There will be moments when the path ahead is unclear, when you feel like you are in a period of waiting. These are the times when your faith is tested, asking you to trust in the unseen forces that are aligning everything in perfect harmony. The universe knows when the time is right, and when your request is granted, it will be in a way that exceeds your expectations. Faith and trust are the cornerstones of your journey as a chosen one. These qualities are what allow you to navigate the uncertainties of life with grace and confidence, knowing that you are always being guided by the divine. Faith is the belief in the unseen, the assurance that even though you may not yet see the results of your prayers, they are being answered. Trust, on the other hand, is the willingness to let go of control and allow the universe to take the lead. As you walk your spiritual path, there will inevitably be moments where the road ahead seems steep and overwhelming. Your faith and trust may feel fragile in the face of challenges that appear insurmountable, as though the very ground beneath your feet is shifting. In these times, it's easy to question whether you are truly being guided or whether the universe has somehow forgotten you. Yet these difficult moments are not random trials. They are sacred opportunities, invitations to strengthen your faith, deepen your trust, and surrender more fully to the divine plan unfolding for your life. Consider that every great transformation begins with a moment of uncertainty. It is in the face of the unknown that true faith is forged. You may be called to leave behind what is comfortable and familiar, relationships, jobs, or even long-held beliefs, to step into a new phase of your life, where nothing is guaranteed except the promise of your soul's growth. These moments of transition often come with fear, doubt, and resistance, as your mind clings to what it knows. However, it is in releasing control and fully trusting the journey ahead that you unlock the true power of faith. When challenges arise, it is natural to feel as though you are walking through a storm, unsure if you will make it to the other side. But just as storms pass, so too do difficult times. The key is to remember that even in the midst of the chaos, there is divine orchestration at work. You may not see the full picture yet, but every obstacle, every delay, and every setback is a part of the greater plan, guiding you toward your highest good. Trusting this process requires courage, a deep inner knowing that even when nothing seems to be going your way, the universe is working behind the scenes, aligning everything perfectly for you. In moments when your faith is tested, it can be helpful to reflect on the times in your life when things didn't go according to your plans, yet somehow turned out better than you could have imagined. Perhaps there was a job you didn't get, a relationship that ended, or a goal that seemed just out of reach. Looking back, you may realize that what felt like a loss or a disappointment was actually a redirection, a blessing in disguise. These past experiences serve as reminders that the universe always has a higher perspective, seeing the bigger picture when you cannot. Faith, in its truest form, is not about having all the answers or knowing exactly how things will unfold. It is about trusting that you are being guided, even when you can't see the road ahead. It's about walking forward with confidence, not because the path is clear, but because you believe in the unseen forces that are supporting you. This kind of faith asks you to release your attachment to specific outcomes, and instead, surrender to the flow of life, knowing that whatever happens, you are being led to exactly where you need to be. Trusting in the divine plan also means accepting that challenges are a part of your spiritual evolution. They are not roadblocks meant to deter you, but stepping stones that strengthen your character, deepen your wisdom, and refine your soul. Each challenge offers you the chance to grow, to learn something new about yourself, and to embody more of your divine potential. In moments of hardship, rather than asking, "Why is this happening to me?" consider asking, "What is this teaching me?" This shift in perspective can transform the way you experience difficulties, turning them from obstacles into opportunities for growth. One of the most profound lessons in trusting the divine is learning to surrender. Surrender is not about giving up or losing hope. Rather, it is the recognition that you do not have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. When you surrender, you release the need to control every aspect of your life and allow the universe to guide you. It is an act of faith, acknowledging that there are forces at work far greater than your own efforts, and that by aligning with these forces, you invite greater ease, flow, and grace into your life. During these times of surrender, it's important to nurture your inner world. Cultivate practices that ground you in your faith, whether through meditation, prayer, journaling, or spending time in nature. These practices help you reconnect with the still, small voice within, reminding you that no matter what happens externally, you are always supported by the divine. They also offer you the space to release fears and doubts, allowing your faith to grow stronger with each passing day. So, when you face challenges that seem insurmountable, when you are asked to step into the unknown without guarantees, remember that these moments are sacred. They are the gateways to your highest growth, the very experiences that will deepen your connection with the divine and fortify your trust in the unseen forces guiding your path. Each test of faith is an invitation to rise above the limitations of the mind and step fully into the boundless potential of your soul. In trusting this process, you are not only aligning with the divine plan, but also allowing the miracles and blessings that are meant for you to unfold in the most perfect and profound way. One of the most profound aspects of your spiritual journey as a chosen one is the call to embrace your authentic self. This is the truest expression of who you are, free from the masks and roles that society often imposes on you. It is the part of you that is in perfect alignment with the divine, the part of you that knows your purpose and is unafraid to pursue it. Living authentically means stepping into the full expression of who you truly are, unfiltered and unafraid to shine your light. It is a profound act of courage, requiring you to honor your deepest values, desires, and truths, even when they diverge from societal norms or the expectations others may place on you. To live authentically is to recognize that the unique gifts, talents, and perspectives you hold are not only valuable, but necessary for your own growth and the evolution of the world around you. You have been given these qualities for a reason, and embracing them fully is a vital part of fulfilling your soul's purpose. At the heart of authentic living is self-awareness, the willingness to look deeply within and understand who you truly are at your core. This journey of self-discovery requires honesty and vulnerability, as it often involves peeling away the layers of conditioning, roles, and labels that society, family, or culture may have imposed upon you. These external influences can be powerful, shaping your identity and behavior in ways that may not align with your true self. To live authentically, you must engage in the process of deconstructing these external pressures, allowing your inner voice to emerge with clarity. One of the most challenging aspects of living authentically is the need to let go of external validation or approval. From an early age, many of us are conditioned to seek approval from others, whether it's from parents, teachers, peers, or society at large. We are taught to mold ourselves to fit into predefined roles, being successful, likable, or acceptable according to external standards. However, living authentically requires that you transcend this need for validation. It means trusting that your path is sacred and uniquely yours, even if it looks different from the paths of those around you. Letting go of external approval doesn't mean you stop caring about the opinions of others or isolate yourself from the world. Instead, it's about releasing the power that others' opinions have over your sense of self-worth and direction. When you place too much importance on what others think, you may find yourself making choices that align with their expectations rather than your own inner truth. This creates a disconnect between who you are and how you present yourself to the world. By letting go of the need for approval, you free yourself to make decisions that honor your authenticity, even if they don't align with what society deems right or normal. Trusting your path, even when it differs from others, is an essential part of living authentically. Each person's journey is unique, and what works for one individual may not resonate with another. Your path may take you in unexpected directions, whether it involves pursuing a less conventional career, embracing a creative passion, or stepping into a spiritual calling. Authenticity demands that you trust in the wisdom of your own soul, knowing that the divine has a unique plan for you that is perfectly aligned with your higher purpose. This trust allows you to move forward with confidence, even when others may not understand or support your choices. Living authentically also requires that you embrace self-acceptance. This means recognizing and owning all parts of yourself, including the aspects that may feel uncomfortable or unpolished. It's about allowing your imperfections, vulnerabilities, and mistakes to be part of your story, without judgment or shame. Authenticity is not about projecting an image of perfection, but about being real and genuine. When you accept yourself fully, flaws and all, you cultivate a deep sense of inner peace and self-compassion. You no longer feel the need to hide parts of yourself to fit in or to present a curated version of who you are. As you embrace your authentic self, you may face challenges. There will be moments when you are called to step out of your comfort zone, to make difficult choices, or to confront fears that have held you back. But each of these challenges is an opportunity for growth, allowing you to deepen your connection with your true self and with the divine. Gratitude is one of the most powerful spiritual practices you can cultivate as a chosen one. It is the act of recognizing and appreciating the blessings in your life, both big and small. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is present, allowing you to see the abundance that surrounds you. When you practice gratitude, something profound happens within your heart and soul. Gratitude is not merely a polite response or a routine thank you. It is a powerful spiritual practice that aligns you with the energy of love, abundance, and divine grace. At its core, gratitude is an energetic frequency that has the potential to transform not only your mindset, but your entire reality. It is the lens through which you begin to see the world, not in terms of what is lacking, but in terms of the countless blessings that already surround you. In practicing gratitude, you shift your focus from scarcity and fear to abundance and love. This shift is not just mental, it is deeply spiritual. By recognizing the blessings that already exist in your life, no matter how small or large, you send a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive more. You become an energetic match for the vibration of abundance, which attracts even more blessings into your life. It is as if you are turning the dial on a radio to tune into the frequency of the universe's endless generosity, and once you do, you begin to experience more synchronicities, more opportunities, and more manifestations of your desires. Gratitude also creates a state of receptivity. When you express genuine appreciation for the gifts you have, whether it's your health, your relationships, your personal growth, or even the challenges that have shaped you, you open your heart to receive even more from the universe. This is because the act of acknowledging what you already have sends a clear message. I see and appreciate the abundance around me, and I trust in the divine's provision. In doing so, you allow yourself to be in a constant flow of receiving, as gratitude dissolves the barriers of doubt, fear, and limitation that may have previously blocked the flow of blessings into your life. But gratitude does more than just attract external blessings. It transforms your internal state. When you cultivate gratitude, you raise your vibration. The energy of gratitude is closely aligned with love, joy, and peace, all of which are high-frequency states that naturally elevate your spiritual and emotional well-being. This elevation of vibration is not only felt by you but radiates outward, affecting everyone and everything around you. It becomes contagious, spreading positivity and creating an energetic ripple effect that influences your environment, your interactions, and the circumstances you attract. It's important to remember that gratitude is a practice, a daily conscious effort to focus on the good in your life, even in the midst of challenges. It's not something that happens automatically, especially in a world that often emphasizes what we lack rather than what we have. By making gratitude a daily habit, whether through journaling, meditation, or simply pausing throughout the day to reflect on your blessings, you train your mind to seek out the beauty and abundance in every moment. Over time, this practice rewires your brain, making it easier to stay in a state of appreciation, even when life becomes difficult. Ultimately, gratitude is a gateway to inner peace and spiritual fulfillment. It aligns you with the flow of the universe, reminding you that you are always supported, always provided for, and always loved. It is through gratitude that you come to realize that abundance is not something you chase, but something you already possess. By embracing this truth, you create a life filled with joy, contentment, and divine grace, where every moment is seen as a gift, and every experience is honored as part of the sacred journey of the soul. As a chosen one, you are called to live a life of purpose, alignment, and spiritual awakening. Your journey is unique, and it is filled with divine signs, synchronicities, and sacred nudges that guide you along the way. By cultivating faith, trust, intuition, and gratitude, you are aligning yourself with the flow of the universe and stepping into your highest potential. Remember, this moment is not a coincidence. It is a sacred appointment, a confirmation that your request has been granted. Trust in the process, embrace your authentic self, and know that you are exactly where you need to be. The universe is always working in your favor, guiding you toward a life of greater fulfillment, joy, and spiritual awakening. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for more insights on your journey as a chosen one. Your support helps us continue to bring powerful, transformative content that uplifts and inspires. Thank you for being here, and may your path continue to be guided by love, light, and divine wisdom. In the quiet moments of introspection, we often wonder why, despite our best intentions and efforts to live kindly and authentically, we still encounter negativity, rejection, or even hostility from those around us. It seems paradoxical, even confusing, when we strive to be the best versions of ourselves, only to be met with disdain or mistreatment. What is the root of this discord? Why do some people, even without clear reason, seem to harbor ill feelings toward us or reject our presence entirely? The answer lies not in what you do, but in who you are, the light you carry within you. You may not fully recognize it, but you possess a powerful spiritual presence that profoundly affects others. Your spirit, shining brightly in its authenticity, kindness, and wisdom, can disrupt and unsettle the shadows that lie within those who have not yet faced their inner darkness. The discomfort you sense from them is not about you as an individual, but about what your light represents. It's a mirror reflecting their unhealed wounds, insecurities, and struggles, often provoking responses of resentment or hostility. As we explore these reasons, you'll begin to understand the purpose behind the pain and how it's all leading to your breakthrough. So if you're ready to embrace your journey with renewed strength, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more powerful insights that will uplift and empower you. You're on the verge of something great, and you don't want to miss what comes next. In a world often dominated by shadows, fear, ignorance, envy, and greed, your inner light stands as a rare and potent force. It shines brightly, not just as a reflection of who you are, but as a mirror that reveals the hidden depths in others. Your light isn't merely an outward projection of goodness, it is a profound energy that comes from deep within, born of your unique connection to the divine, to your higher self, and to the truth of your existence. This energy, this radiance, is what sets you apart and makes you different. It's an aura of authenticity and compassion, a spiritual essence that many sense even if they cannot fully comprehend it. While some may be inspired by your radiance, drawn to you, uplifted by your presence, and moved to align themselves with the same sense of purpose, there are others for whom your light is deeply unsettling. It doesn't just exist as a pleasant glow to them. It serves as a spotlight that illuminates the darkest parts of their being. For many, this is unbearable. Why? Because it exposes the very things they have been hiding from, sometimes for their entire lives. Darkness, in this sense, isn't just the absence of light. It's the accumulation of unaddressed fears, insecurities, unresolved traumas, and unmet shadows of the soul. These shadows linger within people, consciously or unconsciously, keeping them trapped in cycles of negativity, bitterness, and stagnation. For those who have yet to confront their inner darkness, seeing someone like you, someone who shines with authenticity and spiritual clarity, forces them to face their own reflection. Your presence alone can stir something deep within them, awakening fears or unresolved wounds that they have kept buried. But the truth is, not everyone is ready to face their own shadows. Many people spend their lives building walls around their insecurities, creating distractions and indulging in patterns of denial to avoid the painful work of self-examination. When they encounter someone like you, someone whose energy reflects their unhealed parts, they may not understand why they feel uncomfortable, but they will feel it intensely. That discomfort often manifests as resentment, jealousy, or even hostility. It is easier for them to deflect the discomfort outward rather than look inward. Instead of viewing your light as an invitation to heal, they may see it as a threat. This is where the divide occurs. Your inner light, your authenticity, can trigger negative responses in those who are not ready to confront their own darkness. The irony is that the very thing they reject, the illumination you offer, is what could set them free if they were willing to do the inner work. Your kindness and authenticity may be misinterpreted as arrogance or superiority, not because you are acting with pride, but because your presence magnifies the areas in their lives where they feel inadequate or incomplete. This dynamic is not a reflection of your worth, but rather a testament to the power of your light. You are a living, breathing reminder that higher paths exist, paths of love, growth, and awakening. To those stuck in cycles of darkness, this is a truth they may not yet be prepared to accept. The energy you carry is not just ordinary, it is divine, radiant, and transformative. There are those who, consciously or unconsciously, can feel this powerful energy the moment you walk into a room. They may not know why they react the way they do, but they instinctively sense that something about you is different, something they cannot quite put their finger on, but that deeply unsettles them. In spiritual terms, you are aligned with the higher vibrations of love, compassion, and authenticity. This energy naturally disrupts lower vibrations, fear, jealousy, and dishonesty. Imagine you are a tuning fork vibrating at a high frequency. Those whose lives are built around lower frequencies, negative emotions, toxic environments, superficial pursuits, will find your energy jarring. It's like trying to tune a dissonant note to a harmonious chord. The process can be uncomfortable and chaotic for those unprepared for the shift. In environments that thrive on the status quo, whether social circles that encourage mediocrity, workplaces mired in toxicity, or relationships built on unhealthy dynamics, your presence represents a threat. People are forced to confront truths they would rather suppress. You are a walking catalyst for change, and while some will embrace this opportunity for growth, others will resent it fiercely. Their resentment is a defense mechanism, a way to protect the comfort zones they have constructed around their lives. For them, change represents risk, and risk is frightening. Your existence alone challenges their complacency, making them feel exposed and vulnerable. And so, they react not to you, but to the deeper fear that your energy triggers within them. One of the most painful human experiences is to be confronted with something, or someone, that represents what we most deeply desire but fear we can never attain. This form of discomfort often cuts to the core, stirring a complex blend of longing, envy, and self-doubt. For those who are struggling on their spiritual path, or who feel disconnected from their true selves, you may inadvertently become the embodiment of what they long for, but secretly believe is out of reach. The pain arises from the conflict between their heart's yearning and the mind's conviction that such fulfillment is unattainable. This inner turmoil is profound. When people see you, someone who radiates authenticity, spiritual clarity, and inner peace, it can awaken something deep within them. A reminder of the life they have always hoped for, but, for various reasons, haven't yet embraced. You may represent the version of themselves they wish they could become, but they feel trapped by their own limiting beliefs, past traumas, or societal conditioning. In you, they see a reflection of what could be, but they are reminded of the gap between their current reality and their ideal self. This gap can be agonizing, triggering a defensive reaction rather than an embrace of hope. For some, seeing your light ignites a painful sense of inadequacy. They might have once believed in their potential for growth, happiness, or spiritual fulfillment, but feel they have lost their way. Life's challenges, disappointments, or the weight of conformity may have slowly eroded their confidence and clarity. They may see in you the embodiment of that lost potential, a life lived with purpose, a heart aligned with love, and a mind free from fear. But instead of feeling inspired, they may feel confronted by the harsh reality that they've been avoiding their own inner work. It's important to understand that this reaction has little to do with you personally. It's not about your specific actions, words, or choices. It's about the internal dialogue they have been carrying, stories of not being good enough, never being able to change, or always falling short. You, in your radiance, unknowingly force them to confront these limiting beliefs, and rather than face the discomfort of self-examination, they turn that discomfort outward, making you the target of their frustration. You may hear things like, "You think you're better than everyone else," or "Why can't you just be normal?" These statements are not about you. They are about the deep-seated fear that they themselves will never be able to rise to the level of authenticity and spiritual alignment that you have reached. Your success, your light, and your perseverance challenge their self-imposed limitations, and their resentment is a way of avoiding the painful truth that they are capable of so much more if they were only willing to take the journey inward. As a spiritually aligned individual, you possess an innate empathy and sensitivity that allows you to see through the masks people wear. You don't just engage with people on a surface level, you connect with them soul to soul. While this is a beautiful gift, it can also be unsettling for those who have spent their lives constructing elaborate defenses to protect themselves from pain, vulnerability, or rejection. When you interact with others, you often reflect back to them the wounds they have tried so hard to bury. You may notice patterns of insecurity, fear, or self-doubt that they aren't ready to acknowledge in themselves. Even if you never speak these observations aloud, your very presence can make people feel seen in a way that they are not prepared for. Think of it like this. You are a mirror, and when others look into that mirror, they see not only the parts of themselves they are proud of, but also the aspects they have been avoiding. Old wounds, unresolved traumas, or emotional scars. For some, this reflection is empowering, as it offers them the opportunity to heal and grow. But for others, it is terrifying. This is particularly true when it comes to people who have built their identity around their unhealed wounds. These individuals may define themselves by their past hurts or traumas, and your light threatens to disrupt that narrative. Rather than embracing healing, they cling to the familiarity of their pain, and you, as the mirror that reflects back the truth, become the object of their resentment. Your spiritual energy naturally brings hidden shadows into the light. This is a powerful gift, but it also means that some people will react defensively, choosing to lash out at you rather than face the difficult work of healing. They may accuse you of being too sensitive or overly emotional, projecting their own unprocessed feelings onto you in an attempt to avoid confronting their own pain. It's important to remember that these reactions are not your responsibility to fix. While you may be a mirror for others, it is up to them to decide whether they will use that reflection as an opportunity for healing or continue to live in denial of their wounds. Your role is simply to hold space, to be a compassionate presence, and to stay true to your own path of growth and awakening. Chosen ones are known for their resilience. No matter how many obstacles you face, you continue to rise, learning from every setback and growing stronger with each challenge. This strength can be intimidating to those who have not yet cultivated their own resilience. When others see you thriving despite adversity, it can make them feel weak or inadequate. They might wonder why they struggle while you continue to persevere, instead of seeing your resilience as something to admire or emulate. They may lash out in jealousy, attempting to bring you down to their level. Your resilience is a reflection of your connection to the divine and your unwavering commitment to your spiritual path. But for those who are still grappling with their own inner challenges, it can feel like a painful reminder of their own unresolved issues. Another reason chosen ones often face mistreatment is that you serve as a catalyst for change in the lives of those around you. Your spiritual energy doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone you come into contact with. You are like a pebble thrown into a pond, creating ripples that extend far beyond your immediate circle. For some, this change is welcome. They feel inspired by your presence, motivated to begin their own spiritual journeys, or make positive changes in their lives. But for others, change is terrifying. It threatens their sense of stability and forces them to confront uncomfortable truths. Because you are a catalyst for change, you may unintentionally trigger resistance in others. People may react defensively, trying to hold on to old patterns and resist the growth that your presence inspires. This resistance can manifest as mistreatment, criticism, or even outright hostility. Finally, the seventh reason chosen ones face adversity is that you are not of this world in the typical sense. You have a spiritual mission that transcends the materialistic, ego-driven concerns of society. This can make you feel like an outsider, someone who doesn't quite fit into the conventional molds. You may have felt this sense of alienation since childhood, as if you were meant for something greater but couldn't quite place what it was. This feeling of being set apart is not just a personal experience, it's something others pick up on as well. When people sense that you are different, that you don't conform to the norms of society, it can create a sense of discomfort. People are often wary of what they don't understand, and your uniqueness may provoke suspicion, envy, or even aggression. However, this difference is also your greatest strength. You were not meant to fit into the molds created by others. You were meant to break them. Your spiritual mission requires you to stand apart, to shine your light in a world that sometimes prefers darkness. As we've explored today, the challenges faced by chosen ones are not random. They're a reflection of the powerful light you carry and the spiritual journey you are on. Being misunderstood, envied, or even rejected is often part of the path before your greatest breakthrough. It's the universe's way of refining you, testing your resilience, and preparing you for the purpose you're meant to fulfill. Remember, the resistance you face is not about your worth. It's about the brilliance of your spirit illuminating the shadows in others. Stay strong, stay true to your higher calling, and never let the negativity of others dim the light within you. Every trial is a stepping stone toward the breakthrough that will not only elevate you, but inspire those around you. If this message resonated with you, and you're on a journey of spiritual growth and self-discovery, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Join our community of light bearers, and let's continue to walk this path together, embracing the challenges and celebrating the breakthroughs to come. Until next time, keep shining, and never forget that your light has a divine purpose. Have you ever had the feeling that something or someone is watching over you, guiding and protecting you in ways you can't quite explain? Perhaps it's in those fleeting moments of clarity when everything falls into place, or in the comforting warmth that floods your heart when you need it most. While we may not always be aware of it, many spiritual traditions teach us that we are never truly alone. Hidden from our physical senses but ever present in our lives, there exist forces of love and protection, guardian angels, spirit guides, ancestral spirits, and even divine energy that watch over us with unwavering care. In this world, bustling with distractions, the presence of these invisible guardians often goes unnoticed. Yet, their influence is undeniable for those attuned to it. These unseen protectors serve as our spiritual cheerleaders, helping us navigate life's complexities and transitions, especially during times of significant change or personal growth. Think of them as the loving hands that guide you through life's most challenging moments, providing comfort, wisdom, and protection when you need it most. Across cultures and spiritual traditions, there is a shared belief in beings that exist beyond our physical senses, acting as protectors and guides for humanity. In Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, these beings are often referred to as angels, messengers of God who carry out divine will and safeguard the souls of the faithful. In other belief systems, such as shamanism or certain indigenous traditions, the guardians may take the form of spirit animals, ancestors, or celestial beings who watch over individuals and guide them toward enlightenment. Regardless of how they are named or depicted, these entities are united by their purpose: to support, protect, and guide us on our spiritual journey. They are the benevolent forces that steer us away from harm, help us make crucial decisions, and offer comfort in moments of despair. They may appear to us in dreams, through intuitive nudges, or even as quiet whispers in moments of reflection. Although they operate in the unseen realms, their presence is felt through the miraculous ways our lives unfold. One of the most significant challenges in connecting with these spiritual guardians is recognizing the signs they send. Their communication is often subtle, not because they wish to be elusive, but because it requires us to heighten our awareness and attune ourselves to their frequency. Here are some of the most common ways that these unseen forces make themselves known. Synchronicity, a term popularized by psychologist Carl Jung, refers to the meaningful coincidences that seem to defy explanation. Have you ever experienced something happening at just the right time? Perhaps you were thinking about an old friend, only to receive a call or message from them moments later. Or maybe you were feeling lost or overwhelmed, and out of nowhere, a solution presented itself: a person, a book, or a signpost that pointed you in the right direction. These synchronicities are not random. They are the handiwork of your spiritual guardians. They work behind the scenes, aligning events in your life to ensure that you are where you need to be. when you need to be there. Divine timing is their way of orchestrating life's events to nudge you forward on your path. When you start noticing these moments, it's a sign that you are being watched over, guided by forces that understand the bigger picture of your life. Your intuition is one of the primary channels through which your spiritual protectors communicate with you. Have you ever had a gut feeling that led you to make a certain decision, even when logic pointed in the opposite direction? That inner voice, often subtle yet persistent, is a direct link to your guardians. They use intuition to guide you toward the right path, warning you when something doesn't feel right and encouraging you to take action when the timing is ideal. Tuning into your intuition is like developing a deep inner relationship with your soul's wisdom. It requires mindfulness, patience, and above all, trust. In the beginning, those subtle nudges may seem faint, almost like a whisper in the background of your thoughts. But the more you honor and pay attention to these feelings, the stronger your connection becomes. It's about creating space for stillness, where the noise of the outside world quiets down, allowing your inner voice to be heard. As you continue to practice, you'll notice a profound shift within yourself. Those intuitive hunches that once seemed random or coincidental will reveal themselves as the purposeful guidance of your higher self, or even the whispers of your unseen protectors, angels, spirit guides, or ancestors, gently steering you toward choices that align with your highest good. These spiritual beings work behind the scenes, placing signs, synchronicities, and inner promptings in your path to help you grow, heal, and fulfill your soul's purpose. With time, as your trust deepens, you'll begin to recognize this guidance as a form of divine communication, a sacred partnership between you and the universe. It is a gift that reminds you that you are never alone, that there is always a source of wisdom available to you if only you choose to listen. In honoring your intuition, you honor the divine presence within yourself, and in doing so, your life naturally begins to flow with greater harmony, peace, and alignment. Each step you take in this direction builds a stronger, more profound connection to the divine guidance that's always available, guiding you toward your highest potential. While we sleep, our conscious mind is at rest, allowing the subconscious to take over. This is often when we are most receptive to receiving messages from the spiritual realm. Guardian angels and spirit guides may appear in dreams to offer comfort, wisdom, or warnings about future events. In many spiritual traditions, dreams are seen as a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds. During sleep, our conscious mind steps aside, allowing the soul to connect more deeply with higher realms of wisdom. Paying attention to recurring symbols, feelings, or people in your dreams can provide valuable insights into the messages your deity are sending you. For example, specific symbols like animals, water, or light may represent deeper truths or spiritual lessons that are relevant to your current life situation. Similarly, encountering loved ones who have passed on can be a way for them to offer comfort or deliver important messages. If you wake up with a sense of clarity, peace, or a profound realization, it could be a sign that your guardians are communicating with you, helping you make sense of the challenges or decisions you're facing. Even unsettling dreams may carry hidden lessons, nudging you to pay attention to areas of your life that need healing or change. The key is to approach your dreams with an open heart, trusting that your spiritual protectors are using this sacred space to guide, protect, and uplift your soul on its journey. By keeping a dream journal and reflecting on recurring themes, you can unlock deeper layers of spiritual insight and receive the guidance intended just for you. Sometimes, the presence of spiritual protectors manifests physically. Have you ever felt a sudden warmth in your chest or a tingling sensation that made you stop and take notice? These physical sensations can be gentle reminders from your guides that they are near. Some people report feeling a sense of lightness, as if a weight has been lifted, or experiencing an inexplicable sense of calm in moments of stress. In addition to physical sensations, You may also notice signs in your external environment. Feathers, coins, certain animals, or numbers that appear repeatedly, such as 1111 or 444, are often cited as symbols of angelic or spiritual presence. These small yet significant signs are like winks from the universe, letting you know that you are being watched over and supported. While not every sign from our spiritual guardians will be miraculous in the conventional sense, there are times when we encounter events that seem too extraordinary to be mere coincidence. These might be moments of pure serendipity, an encounter or opportunity that changes the course of your life in ways you couldn't have imagined. Or they may be miraculous in nature, such as a sudden recovery from illness or surviving a near-fatal accident unscathed. These moments, rare and precious, are clear indicators that you are being guided and protected by forces beyond human comprehension. They serve as reminders that even in our darkest moments, we are never truly alone. While your spiritual guardians are always present, your ability to sense and connect with them can be greatly enhanced through mindful practice. By cultivating daily rituals that promote spiritual awareness, you open the door to a deeper connection with the subtle energies that guide and protect you. One of the most profound ways to attune yourself to these unseen forces is through mindfulness and meditation. When we quiet our thoughts and invite stillness, we create space to receive the gentle whispers of our guides. Meditation allows us to rise above the noise of daily life and enter a state of inner peace where their presence becomes more tangible. Setting aside even a few moments each day for mindful breathing or a meditative practice focused on spiritual connection can make all the difference. Picture a radiant, protective light surrounding you, welcoming your guides into your space. As time passes, you may find your awareness shifting, feeling a greater sense of peace, clarity, and a growing trust in your intuition. Prayer is another deeply powerful way to strengthen your bond with spiritual protectors. Whether rooted in religious traditions or a personal expression of faith, prayer serves as a direct bridge to the divine. As it is written in Philippians 4:6, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." Through prayer, you can share your gratitude, ask for guidance, and invite the presence of your guardians into every part of your life. Prayer is not only about seeking answers, but about fostering a deep connection with the divine, trusting in God's perfect timing and wisdom. In Matthew 7:7, Jesus reminds us, "Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you." When you approach prayer with an open heart, you invite God and His angels to walk with you on your spiritual journey, providing comfort, protection, and divine wisdom. Rather than asking for specific outcomes, focus on seeking clarity, protection, and alignment with your highest self, as God often works in ways that surpass human understanding. Proverbs 3:5-6 advises, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your path straight." By doing so, you open yourself to the wisdom and support your guides are eager to offer, trusting that they work in harmony with your best interests. Through faith and prayer, you allow God's grace to flow into every aspect of your life, ensuring that you walk in alignment with His divine plan. Journaling is an invaluable tool for reflecting on your spiritual experiences. By writing down any synchronicities, intuitive nudges, vivid dreams, or even moments of unexpected insight, you begin to notice the recurring themes that hint at the presence of your guardians. As you record these moments, you create a space for reflection, deepening your understanding of how your guides have been quietly influencing your path all along. Over time, you'll see a pattern emerge, one that reveals just how intricately they have been working to protect and guide you. Listening to your intuition is another powerful way to connect with these spiritual forces. Your intuition is often the voice through which your guides communicate, gently steering you toward choices that serve your highest good. When faced with decisions, take a moment to pause and feel. What does your body tell you? Does a sense of calm wash over you, or do you feel unease? Trust these sensations, as they are often subtle clues from your protectors, guiding you on the path aligned with your soul's purpose. The more you trust this inner knowing, the stronger your connection with the unseen becomes. Lastly, never underestimate the power of gratitude. Expressing appreciation for the guidance and protection you receive strengthens the bond between you and your spiritual guardians, even if their presence isn't always obvious. Acknowledging them with heartfelt thanks invites more blessings into your life. Whether through prayer, meditation, or simply pausing for a moment to say thank you in your heart, this act of gratitude creates a reciprocal flow of energy and deepens your connection to the divine realm. In expressing gratitude, you align yourself with the grace and protection that is always available to you. One of the most profound lessons our guardians teach us is the power of trust and surrender. When we surrender to the flow of life, trusting that we are being guided and protected, we open ourselves up to incredible transformation and growth. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. Rather, it is an act of faith. Faith that everything is unfolding as it should, even if we cannot see the full picture. When we encounter obstacles or challenges, trusting that our guardians are working behind the scenes to support us allows us to face uncertainty with grace. It's like walking through a dark tunnel, knowing there is light at the end, even if we can't see it yet. In moments of surrender, we release the need to control every outcome, acknowledging that there are forces far greater than ourselves guiding our path. This trust requires courage, the courage to let go of fear, doubt, and the urge to resist life's natural flow. Instead of fighting against the current, we learn to move with it, allowing divine wisdom to carry us where we are meant to be. Surrender is not passive. It is an active, conscious choice to embrace the unknown. When we release our grip on rigid expectations, we create space for miracles and unexpected blessings to enter our lives. Often, what we perceive as setbacks or detours are actually redirections, steering us towards something far more aligned with our soul's purpose. In those moments of uncertainty, surrender also deepens our relationship with the divine and our spiritual guides. It opens us up to their subtle signs, the synchronicities, and the gentle nudges that offer reassurance. We start to see that every challenge, no matter how difficult, holds a lesson or gift, and trusting this process allows us to move forward with peace and resilience. In the act of surrender, we align ourselves with the greater flow of life, trusting that we are always being guided toward our highest good, even when the path is unclear. Learning to surrender also means letting go of fear and doubt, making space for love, growth, and miracles to unfold in our lives. It is in this space of trust that we truly begin to see the magic that surrounds us, recognizing the interconnectedness of all things and the divine orchestration at play. While our spiritual guardians provide us with protection and guidance, it is important to remember that we are not meant to walk the path of awakening alone. Finding a community of like-minded individuals who share your spiritual values can provide immense support and encouragement on your journey. In spiritual communities, whether they are physical gatherings or online groups, we find a sense of belonging. We are reminded that our experiences, challenges, and breakthroughs are part of a larger collective journey. When we share our insights, struggles, and growth with others who understand and support us, we tap into a wellspring of strength and wisdom that amplifies our own spiritual connection. The presence of a supportive community also provides opportunities for growth and learning. By exchanging ideas, practices, and wisdom with others, we enrich our own spiritual journey. It's like having a treasure trove of knowledge and inspiration at our fingertips, ready to be explored and integrated into our lives. In the vast tapestry of life, the presence of unseen spiritual guardians offers us comfort, protection, and guidance. Whether we call them angels, guides, ancestors, or simply the universe, these benevolent forces are ever present, watching over us as we navigate the twists and turns of our spiritual journey. By recognizing the signs of their presence, practicing mindfulness and meditation, and trusting in the flow of life, we can deepen our connection with these protective forces. Through prayer, intention setting, and listening to our intuition, we open ourselves up to receiving their guidance. allowing their wisdom to illuminate our path. As we cultivate this awareness and weave it into the fabric of our daily lives, we create a sacred space where the presence of our guardians is felt and honored. In doing so, we embark on a journey of spiritual awakening that is grounded in trust, surrender, and love, a journey that leads us closer to our true selves and the divine light that shines within us all. If this message resonates with you, know that you are being guided and supported in ways that may not always be visible, but are always present. Trust in the divine plan unfolding in your life, and remember that your spiritual protectors are always by your side. Thank you for being a part of this journey with us. If you found this message helpful, we invite you to subscribe to the channel for more uplifting content. Your support helps us continue sharing messages of hope, healing, and spiritual growth. Blessings to you on your path.